Hey, welcome to Prosperous Living. Prosperous Living with Toyia. You're new here on YouTube. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and the like button. Share because you care, and always comment below. And I'm also streaming on TikTok. Welcome. This is a Saturday morning book club. We'll be discussing Neville Goddard's book, The Feeling is the Secret. The Feeling is the Secret by Neville Goddard. We're discussing chapter 1, which is titled Law and Its Operation. So we'll wait for a couple of people to get in here because it is a book discussion. So we have a panel available. Those that you want to come up and join. It is available. Welcome all. Happy Saturday. Welcome. Hello. Hello, hi, Miss Teddy. Welcome. So we're discussing the first chapter of Neville Goddard's book, The Feeling is the Secret. You're new here on YouTube, and you're watching the replay. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, the like button, share the video, as well as comment below. Welcome. I don't know what's going on here. Yep. Just request to come up. That's it. So we're just waiting for others to join in so we can have the discussion and talk about this. Those who are students of Neville Goddard are very, very familiar with the book. So just waiting for others to join. How are you doing, Miss Teddy? Welcome.
Hey, I'm doing good. How you do? I see you doing good. I seen your latest video where you was dancing yourself feeling great. Isn't that a new one?
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
That was. I love it. That's the way. That's it though.
Thank you.
No, I don't do it often, but when I do it, oh my goodness! Like sometimes you just get up and I just because I've been a dancer. I was a dance. I was known for that. That's my back. I just love to dance and yeah. So that it does definitely change vibrations. It really does.
Beautiful.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah,
always good vibrations.
Yeah, you look so cute on there. I say, yep, that's how you
thank you. I appreciate that.
That's it right there. Yep.
Nice. Beautiful.
So where our buddies at? Where Brian at?
I know, right? All right. Because we're only doing it because because we want participation. Because I'm not going to do it if we don't get participation.
Right.
Like.
Tell Miss Kitty come on up. I think that's Kitty, isn't it?
Yep. Yeah. Good morning. Good morning. There's Miss Cheryl.
Yeah. Okay.
Hello. Good morning. How are you?
Miss Teddy. I'm good. How are you,
good
ladies?
morning.
You're doing great. Good morning, Berry Queen. Grand Rising, Connie. Welcome. Hello. How are you?
Good morning. Divine morning.
Divine morning. Beautiful.
Hi, Miss Teddy.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Good, good. Grand risings. All them positive good things, you know?
I
Yeah.
know, right? Rich Rising. I know that's right. Rich Rising.
Rich rising. Yeah, I know that's G Money.
Okay, let's go. So this is our fifth book discussion. All previous discussions have really been eye-opening, inspirational. Some people taken to another level. You know, hey, La
Latasha.
Toxic. Come on up, girl. Come on up to The Price is Right. uh, we got a space just for you.
Hey, y'all. Good morning.
Hello, hey, Kevin. Rich Rising. Yes, I like that divine rising. I know, right? Connie, have you read the book? Have you read Feeling is the Secret? This is probably about my fifth or sixth time reading this book. I actually did. Did I do this on my YouTube channel? I know I did The Power of Awareness, and somebody did copyright claims. I was like, really? How you doing copyright claims on somebody reading an audiobook? And the person not even alive no more. Like, what we doing? Like, really?
I thought his stuff was in the.
That's what I said. And I'm like, and it wasn't even a way for me to like, they didn't say that I can challenge it or, just said I had 7 days to remove it. I was like, what the hell?
No way.
That's what I said. And I was like, I'm just reading the book. Are you serious?
Well, how did they get away with other people?
That's what I said. But I guess they just pick and choose who they want to make copyright claim. I don't know. I don't know how YouTube, I don't know why I didn't have a right to like, challenge it. But it just said I had so much time. I'm like, whatever. It didn't have that many views on it anyway, so I wasn't whatever. I'm like, I had did that. So like, I did that book like 3 or 4 years ago. It wasn't even like recent.
Wow.
It was before I even started going live on TikTok when I read
when
I
I
did that.
Re-upload it because so many people do the voiceovers.
That's what I'm saying. They read it like I did. They read it. Yeah, so many people there have read his book and made it an audio book for their channel. But anywho,
Anyway.
Yeah, because I listened to the book on a website this week on the Reality Revolution. I listened to the book, so that is funny.
Yeah. I'm like, what?
You know how when people do music, they have to say that little part about, this is not my music or something like that. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, but his is open for, but his is open. He allowed,
Yeah, I'm just wondering.
So many people sell his books, on Amazon.
That's true.
I'm like, okay. But I guess we'll get started. The law and its operation. So who would like to go first? Not everybody at the same time.
Well, I mean, I was kind of first up here. Mine isn't going to be that much because I'm going to be honest. What I liked about it, again, because Neville was known for this. So much of it is a repeat of so much that we read, like, in other books or stuff. And it gives you a constant confirmation. I like that. I really do. And I know when you said you already had read this book, because a lot of stuff I was listening, I said, this is exactly what, because it'll come back. I've heard you say it. I've heard you, confirm it actually. The part that stuck out to me, a lot of it did, but the part I can say is this. He had put in like in the beginning, I don't know if you remember when he said he omitted the arguments and testimonies. But he said, I omit arguments and testimonies. He said, because, and the reason he said, it's so many words, I know I'm paraphrasing, but he said, because experience is going to be the, it's going to be the key, the experience of it itself. Let everybody experience it. And of course, I went dead into that because I will admit, how do I put it? I don't try to make myself feel it. I'll do the things that bring me, in alignment to something. But I know that whenever, and I've shared it with you guys, whenever I've literally felt a thing, especially to some sort of passionate degree, it manifests just like that. It really becomes clear. I know. So I'm starting to think about this, like maybe moving forward, I will not like I said, nothing toiling, but I will keep in mind about a feeling. Put it like that. I will try to allow myself a feeling. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I remember feeling the candle of a car. It was an old beat up car, but I wanted a new car. And when I got in, when I felt the handle, somehow my whole body was as if I was literally opening up a new car. I was feeling the handle of that. It's like that sort of thing. And he said if you impress it, he said the feeling is like you impress that in your conscious, that kind of helps you. But he said you don't have to worry about, like you always say. He said, oh, don't worry about nothing else surrounding it. You know how it's gonna happen, how this feeling gonna go. Just feel it. So yeah, that's what I will say for now.
Thank you for the share. Appreciate it. Okay, Miss Cheryl, you can go next.
Well, this was a really good chapter, I thought. And I kind of had the same reaction internally as when we read The Power of Awareness, and the words consent to and your self-concept like really were like something clicked, And when reading this chapter, honestly, I've underlined so much here, but what the gist of the things I was underlining have to do with, the mood, which again, I don't think is necessarily like an emotion. But he talks a lot about, the feelings that you impress upon your subconscious mind. And I think about all the kind of things I entertain that I don't want to experience, and how important, because I am very much aware of my thoughts, more so and more so all the time. But I do think if I were really honest with myself, like I entertain a lot of emotions or moods, like right now I entertain resentment sometimes. So just really like realizing that I have to get more disciplined with that aspect of my personhood, and just really spend more time, I think, in the silence. Like I am a meditator, but I'm not disciplined, like especially when I'm really busy, I let that go. And I think that that's something I need to practice more, like being in those moods of, of the being I want to be. So I really got a lot from this chapter. And because there's one thing that really stood out, Neville wrote, therefore the man who does not control his feelings may easily impress the subconscious with undesirable states. And I'm like, okay, like divine timing. Like I really feel like my higher self, is always kind of guiding me, my Christ consciousness. Like I feel like it's a relationship I have with it. Even though it's up to me to control my thoughts, to, command my life. I do feel like my higher self guides me and helps me. And I felt like this chapter, because again, the law is not personal. It's a principle. So it doesn't matter like what I want. It's only gonna, my world is only gonna reflect what I entertain.
Yeah.
And moods are part of it. So I got a lot from this chapter.
Beautiful. Love it. Miss Kitty.
Well, one of the things that I found interesting in the chapter was, and I was trying to look at it to pull up the scriptures for reference, but how, again, in life, how the misinterpretation of the verses, how they were passed down to encourage, for lack of a better word, submission of women, when it's really, when you look at it from the metaphysical and cosmic standpoint and the way that Neville Goddard is addressing it. The feminine is, of course, the subconscious, and the masculine being the conscious mind. And how the Bible, again, through religion, interprets that as giving man dominion over women. And it's just a whole, it's just the process of the bamboozlement,
The deception, right?
Yes, the deception, which again nullifies our power and our ability to have control over our lives. So now, that's again why this is such an exciting time with the internet and yada, 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 where people are able to learn from sources that they might not have access to otherwise, just because they're not in the bookstores looking and perusing. And so to understand and know now that the subconscious is the feminine principle, and it's how we operate from deep within, and how we just again have to be careful where we place our minds with our conscious thoughts, because the feminine is going to take it and run with it, because that's what the feminine does. So I really, really took note of that and found that enlightening or expansive for my mindset.
Yes. Love it. Love it. Interesting that you said that, because I had did a video and I was like, because I was seeing videos, y'all see these videos where the man is either saying, my God told my wife to stay with me during my infidelity, or the woman's always saying, God told me to stay with the man even though, they were, not faithful to me. And I'm like, does God ever tell, I was like, Christian man, does God ever tell you to stay with the woman after she's been, unfaithful to you?
Right.
Because it's always the woman has to somehow find a way to forgive, men that stray. And I'm like, do men never be told by God to stay through the marriage?
No.
And so a couple of people on Instagram, they were like, well, God would never tell her to cheat on me. And somebody else said, men and women are different. I was like,
Wait.
And then you had this woman, she likes to come under mine because she doesn't like how I interpret the script, so she always comes under my post on Instagram, and she was like, God would never tell a woman to stay with her husband during infidelity. There's no scripture to back up your stance. And then she's like, but the Bible does tell a man when it is permissible for him to divorce. And I was like, oh, okay. So from your interpretation, God has a double standard. Can I please have the scripture where it's okay for a woman to divorce because of for immorality, for sexual immorality? Because you gave me the script for a man to do it. Where's the script for the woman? She hasn't responded yet. I guess she's still looking.
And what has God don't speak to women? That's my thing. God don't tell women to get.
According to her, that's not biblical. She wanted to give me Bible. I didn't say it was in the Bible. I said they said God told them. I didn't say they said the scripture said. Right? Oh my goodness. Sorry about that.
Because I know when I had the experience of being just one time, my ex-husband knocked me down. My spirit said, we out. I mean, even my conscious mind, I didn't think I was, I thought I was going to do the forgiveness thing. No. My spirit was like, no, we're out of here. Oh, you're not ready? Okay. Every time you get into bed, you fall asleep within 5 minutes. Before my ex-husband could turn around, I was asleep. I began to, just different things were happening that I knew in my conscious mind, I wasn't receiving it, but my spirit was telling me, no, we're out of here.
Yeah.
So the point being,
right, that the Bible's not about
right.
The institution of marriage from the construct that we built up about it, right?
Right.
The institution of marriage is you being there. The father is married to the bride, which we are the church, which is human consciousness. There's no separation between human consciousness and divine consciousness. They're one. They're married to each other.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So it's good to be open and to be able to receive truth as opposed to always following and being a sheep and trusting in these institutions that are only designed for profit and I don't know another word, but profit and fame.
Yeah. So Filling is a Secret. We're on chapter say Psalm 9. We're on chapter 1. And so right now we're discussing on TikTok is where I have a panel available. If you want to call in and give your perspective, you have to come over to TikTok, which is Prosperous Living with _T, if you would like to join the panel and share your perspective on Neville Goddard's book. And we're discussing the first chapter. And the first chapter is the law and its operation.
And the other thing that I found very interesting was that, and I'm totally paraphrasing, that he in essence says, stay out of other people's business. Period. No matter what's happening, do not be contemplating and concern yourself with what's happening in another person's life, because now here you are embracing having all this deep compassion and sympathy for someone who has gone through something, whatever it is, and you're giving your subconscious an opportunity to experience that.
Yeah. And
I remember I read something in a book by a channeler. It was out of California. I forget her name, but the channeler's name, the entity she was channeling was Ramtha. And I think about it all of the time because he said, don't concern yourself with injustices of the world because you don't know what the person that suffered the injustice, where that person came from, and what in their life led them to experience the tragedy or the havoc that has now manifested itself as a huge injustice. You don't know.
Yep.
So don't get involved.
Don't get involved. Mind your business.
Mind your business.
Yep. People try to pull you into their experience, but like I said, you cannot, just because somebody sees it at a wrong, you cannot identify with it. Because then you'll cause it to become a reality in your world, and that's what you want to be cautious of. But here's the beauty of it: anything that you experience, I know Neville Goddard tries to be dogmatic about feelings and all that, but here's the thing: if you do miscreate or misuse the law, you got repentance. You do not have to accept the miscreation or the misuse. You can revise. So there's no end of the world. There's no falling. You don't have to fall out and, oh, I got triggered or I'm spiraling. Just change it. It's just really that simple. Even if you find yourself wallowing in the mud of, hurt feelings or whatever, despair or wrongness, eventually you need to come out of that and try to understand that even though you may not feel you created it, you don't understand where the creation started, you have to accept that you are the creator. And knowing that you are the creator, if you misapply, you can always reapply, which means you can always recreate. You don't have to accept any experience. Hello, LaToxic. How are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hey, how's it going?
Great.
Yeah, so I've been listening to this book. I listened to it a few times, and I don't think the one I was listening to really called out the chapters very well. So it was just like a whole, it was like 45 minutes long. But what this has made me think about more is how consciousness is the only reality. Consciousness is the only reality is what I'm trying to say. I'm not getting my words out well. But, and obviously he's talking about the conscious and the subconscious. And I told you how I feel about that. Like I'm still, so about that concept, but I like the idea of this, what we are experiencing, like what I'm experiencing, what I'm saying, what I'm looking at is all through the lens of my own brain, my own consciousness, my own interpretation, as opposed to it being like a separate thing. Like people talk about the 3D, right? Which, when you think about it, it's like there is no 3D. Like there is no 3D. If we know that what I
there
think,
is no out there, right?
There is
But
no
go ahead. There is no
yeah,
out
you
there.
get it. You understand where I'm going.
Yeah.
There is no out there. It's all internal. It's all inside. So if I personally just love the concept of like, you have control. Like that is one of my favorite things. It's just like, oh, how much control do I actually have? No, I have all the control. I actually have all the control. So if I'm seeing something in my life or my world that I don't like, I have the ability to change that.
Mhm.
And that to me feels really good, because it makes me think, oh, well, I have a lot of opinions. Let me go ahead and write my order in.
There we go. Okay.
Let me go ahead and put my order in. Let me actually change this, because I have a lot of opinions about how it should go.
Mhm.
So in my mind, I'm like, oh, okay, like, I don't know. It just, yeah. So that whole concept of like the control factor is what I think is what I'm sticking to, what resonates with me right now.
Mhm.
Versus like trying to separate out I know he's like explaining the whole fullness of like subconscious and the conscious and all that. But I really, again, thinking about it, it's like there is no separation, right? Like there isn't a separation, because it's all consciousness.
Yep.
Like, and you may not realize that something is a part of your consciousness until you see it or feel the effect of it. But in my mind, I'm like, okay, like, so yeah, I don't like the separation of the two, although I understand why he's explaining it that way.
Yeah, and I think this is really, in his books, it's the only time I think this book and maybe a couple maybe his other books, but he doesn't speak about the subconscious like in the same way Dr. Joseph Murphy does, right?
Okay.
Dr. Joseph Murphy sticks to saying the subconscious mind is the creator, when Neville decides, I'm going to say the imagination is, right? But they're both talking about the same thing.
Right, exactly. I can definitely relate to the imagination more than the subconscious, because that to me feels a little bit mysterious. Like, it feels a little bit hard to change. People talk about like, well, some people say, oh, well, the thought, like your dominant thought is what you will experience, which is what I more resonate to, because it's like, okay, I know what I'm thinking about. I know I can change that. I know I can control that. But when people talk about like your subconscious has these like programming running in the background that you just can't see, you don't even know what it is, you don't even know what's going on back there. I don't like that type of language. Like I understand why people say that, because sometimes people are not consciously choosing, but there's something going on. I get why people say that. I just don't like how
the mysteriousness of it. You want to demystify the manifestation.
Yes.
Not, or the creation of the manifestation, not trying to make it, that's why people believe in the shadow work and the deep dive, right? Because they convince you that, well, you have all this stuff going on in the background and you need to clean that up, and you need to know, all you need to do is give your attention to the current moment. You only need to give your attention to the thing wanted. You no longer need to go back. And so that's what Neville Goddard does not teach, right? He never taught any about going back, inner work, shadow work, healing journey. Never talked about him, Dr. Joseph Murphy, Florence Scovel Shinn, Catherine, all of these people before we got into today's gurus never tried to make you feel like there was something wrong with you that you needed to fix. Right? Yep. They just said, just give your attention to the thing wanted, and that's sufficient.
Yep, absolutely. That's so I think that's where I'm, that what you're saying is exactly the issue that I have, is that like, well, so many people talk about the subconscious and like the programming that's just running all willy-nilly on its own back there. And I think
right, because I get what they're talking about, what science would call the sympathetic nervous system, right? We are not making the heart pump, right? We don't have to think about that. We don't have to make
Right.
the blood flow. We don't nothing about the breath, nothing about digestion, right? That just happens.
Right.
But
Right.
so does manifestation.
Right.
That just happens. Now, you can get dis-ease in the body based on your concept of your reality, right? Whether, however, you get that belief, whether when you came into the world and the world told you, well, some people just gonna be sick, some people just gonna be poor, you may be one of them. You may win the booby prize, right? And make you think that that's a fixed state. That if the only way you're going to get out of that state, you have to go to someone else in order to cure you, right? You may have to go,
Right.
right? You got to figure out how to get the money from an employer, or you got to figure out how to get medicine from a doctor, right? Like as if there's no other options. Like this is only this way when it's infinite ways.
Exactly. Exactly. That's the thing is like, does a person need to analyze their own mindset as to why they have the beliefs they have? Yes, I believe that. I don't think there's any harm in that.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't like the concept of like, well, it's just like untouchable and unchangeable, and you have to like listen to affirmations and subliminals and to reach it. You know, you gotta really dig down in there.
Like it's so deep. It's just like
so
you just
in there.
so. No, the more you
No.
think about, so that's what's called the law of attraction. The more you think of a certain thought, more thoughts like it comes into your mind. And the thing is, you just have to recognize when you start veering off into thoughts that don't align.
Yep.
Just course correct. Just be like, oh no.
And I think too, the concept, what I felt like is when I think about the things that I want to change about myself, and I think about, well, how did I even start thinking this way?
Mm-hmm.
I realized that part of my difficulty in changing those things is because I'm still not clear about what I want to be. I'm still not clear about who I want to be or how I want to be, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I think the difficulty is not in like, oh, like this situation is like, it's so ingrained deeply, it's so rooted in there that you have to get a damn, you know, thing to pull it out, like out of the ground. Like, what do they call it? Starts with an R. I can't remember the name. Anyway, but when I think about that, I'm like, I don't like that terminology. But I realize that the issue is I'm still not clear. Because once I'm clear, I'm clear. Once I know, I know.
Mm-hmm.
And there's really nothing that even my own subconscious can't find me on that. Okay. So in my mind, I'm like, it's just the lack of clarity. Like, okay, I can say, oh, well, this came from that person, or this came from this other, you know, environment or whatever. But if I don't know where I'm going, it doesn't really matter.
Mm-hmm.
That's the issue. Like, it doesn't matter it doesn't matter where all this stuff came from if I don't have a clear direction on how to move on to the next thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so when I think of the consciousness as like the only reality, which is true for so many reasons, then I have to decide. I have to make a decision in what I'm moving toward. And if I'm not clear, then that's the issue.
Yeah.
Versus it being something I just can't seem to like break, or, you know, there's so much negative language around that about, you know, even when it comes to people talking about self-concept.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, I may not, you know, prefer a certain way that I am, but it's only because I haven't decided on who else I'm going to be. Like, what else?
Yeah.
What is the other option here?
Yeah. The judgment with trying to make something wrong, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's where it comes in, right? Because that's eating off the tree of knowledge of good and evil, which you are commanded not to do. And the moment you have a thought and you start trying to judge the thought, oh, I shouldn't be having it. It's intrusive. Where did it come from? That's not my thought. Just change the damn thing, because it really ain't that deep. You don't have to do excavation of the damn thought. You don't have to put it on a microscope. Unnecessary. All you have to do is change it.
Yeah,
that's it.
It's going to come to the surface, right? Like, that's the whole thing. It's like, it's going to come to the surface. What's that whole scripture about seeds being planted, and you don't know which seed you planted until you see the wheat and the chaff together? Like,
yep.
So it's going to come. It's going to come up, regardless, right? It's going to show itself.
Yep.
So at that point, you may not know what it was when you planted it, but when it shows itself, then you just change it. You pull it out of the ground, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. I'm
No, you good.
That's the rabbit hole I went down.
That's good. That's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to think.
Yeah.
I remember I saw this TikTok and they were like, they were saying somebody told them, when it comes to God, you don't think, you just do. See, that's the problem. No, you better think. You better think. We are thinking beings.
Right. Simple as that. That's the whole point of having a brain.
If I only had a brain.
Like, that's the whole point. That's what separates us from animals, right? Animals, generally speaking, don't have the same level of consciousness that we do. Mm-hmm. So that's what separates us from being, crawling around on the ground.
Woo! Tell us about it.
I'm just saying.
Man, it's when we fall into the little traps and snares is when we let someone else think for us. And that was never the intent. It was never for us to be led and guided by another. We were supposed to be led and guided by the inner. So that's the difference.
Absolutely.
Oh, Miss Kitty, you want to say something?
I just wanted to say that it gives a whole new meaning to the term self-contained. You operate from, you trust yourself as yourself. Not, I heard LaToxic say what did she say? Self-concept. But it's however, self-contained is different. And it's just operating, trusting, learning to trust your own self-authority and your own process, operating from within. Because it's a one-player game, like you always say.
It is. So Connie says, how does one with mental health issues change the mind? Who's thinking that other people have health? Who's having the mindset that someone has a mental health issue? It's usually never the person unless they've been told that, right? Somebody tells someone, oh, you're on the spectrum and you're neurodivergent, or you have autism, right? Something outside of them is telling them something is wrong with them. But someone who's autistic that truly has been diagnosed or have been told that all of their life, they don't lead with that about themselves, right? That's not their conversation. They don't go around saying, I know a cousin who has been diagnosed with that. Never have heard him talk about it. Never have heard him use that as a crutch or anything. Now his mother tries to suppress him with the things he wants to do, but he wants to go learn how to drive. So he got his license, his permit. He was learning to drive a car. He wants to go get his license. He wants to get a car. He wants to be on his own. But she's in so fear of him really, going out and just being independent. And he got a job at the airport in our city, the largest airport in our city. And he had a little situation where he got jumped. 4 people jumped on him, but they didn't take nothing from him. He held his own. And then the job ended up, because he's working nights, and the job ended up changing his shift so he wouldn't have to come there at night anymore. And I'm like, but here's the thing. Anybody can be jumped. That has nothing to do with what his mental capacity was, right? We know people experience those type of things regardless of what your mental capacity is. But we as a society love to deem others as less than and put them in a bucket of others just because they're different. The society doesn't like different. Society loves conformity. But we have to learn to not treat people differently just because they think or understand life from a whole nother different capacity. And then those that come here with certain, physical challenges, and even what we may call mental challenges, I'm not here to say how someone's path should be or how someone's path with their journey in life is supposed to be. That really, I can't speak to that. I can't say why a child was born a certain, all I can say, well, if we're going to say that conscious that we are the upper power, we get a choice and we get to have, then maybe that was an experience before they came into the body, they decided to have. That's a big discussion too. We do understand that us being mothers and carrying a child, we walk around with different fears that the medical community give us, especially if you're carrying a child up at a certain age, right? They put all of this fear in you and you're worried about making sure your child is birthed with no defects and everything. And so who knows how much that also may play a part in the development of the child. It's so many things, but if we're going to say all is mental and all is mind, that is something to consider. That is something to consider. Hello, Kevin. Welcome. Not saying I have all the answers, because I don't, but we're all remembering. Are you there, Kevin? You can. Oh, hey.
Yeah.
Okay.
Rising.
Hello, Howard. Grand Rising.
Great. I love the input, the different perspectives. You know, to me, there's no really wrong answer. It's just the way you see things and the way you experience it, which is, as an individual, everything is experienced based on the way you color. You know, I was. This is my first time being exposed to this book. I look at it from a very simplistic approach. I don't see consciousness as anything complicated. It just is. We are just. We just are. Our thinking. I remember back in high school, I would share my thoughts about subconscious with other kids, my peers, and caution them to not be reckless about what they would say, because their subconscious mind doesn't have a sense of humor. So if you're just saying, if you messed up, and you would say to yourself, I'm so stupid, I can't believe, I did that, I'm so stupid, or I'm not smart, or I'm ugly, anything, even in just joking, I would caution them not to say things like that to themselves, because their subconscious doesn't have a sense of humor. It takes the seed of thought and bring it forth without judgment. It doesn't say, well, you're wrong. It just brings it forth. So we I kind of see consciousness as, our world as a blank canvas waiting for the painter to show up and to paint their world the way they see it. So I don't see it as anything complicated. It's just being aware that you are the architect of your reality. So, it's a short read. This is the first time I heard of this book and read it, and I've enjoyed it. And I agree with Neville on a certain level, and I understand what he's trying to convey with the book. So I really enjoyed it.
Nice.
Really enjoyed it.
Nice. So I did want to highlight, speak to specifically in the book some of the things he said. I do want to highlight some of the quotes that he said. So starting off the first line, the world and all within it is man's conditioned consciousness objectified, right? And so he reiterates that in later on in a chapter where he says, "As within, so without," right? And then it says, "Nothing comes to you except it is given to you from your Father which is in heaven," and we know heaven is within you, right? So everything is coming from your own individualized perspective. That's why trying to convince someone of a reality that only you can experience is difficult. That's why we're not here to convince anyone of anything. We're
Right.
just here to express that which is within us, and yeah, that's when you're going to get into debates and arguments and disagreements, right? Because everyone's going to have their own perspective. And
Sure.
you just have to come to the realization that you can't get other people to see what you're saying. You just need to understand they're reflecting you. And the moment we can really nail that down to know that the world, like Latasha said, there's no out there, there's in here, and everyone in your reality is just playing a role based on your concept of you as well as your concept of others. You think of people a certain way, well, then they can't do anything other than to express that.
They have no other choice. They don't have any free will. All the will is your will.
Thy will be done
On
on earth as is where?
As it is, as above,
As it is in heaven. And where is heaven? Within you, in your mind. So you're only seeing on earth what's going on in your mind.
Because
Your
that's all
heaven.
there is. There's nothing else but that. and there may be billions of people out there, and they all have their own individual experience.
Yeah. Yeah. And so as he states, Latoxic already quoted this: consciousness is the only reality, not figuratively, but literally, actually. And what is consciousness? Your awareness, your perspective, your perception, your beliefs, your assumptions, your preconceived notions, however you want to frame it. It's all you, boo.
Well, I love the fact that it's a law. It's a level playing field for everybody.
No respect of persons.
No respect of person. And like Neville said, the understanding of this law really allows you to enjoy life to its fullest. It's out of ignorance of the law is when you suffer.
Yeah.
Because the law is the law. It don't matter whether you you understand it or don't understand it. It's the law. But when you do, you can eat the fruit thereof.
Yes. That part. So I know Neville Goddard breaks the mind into two parts, right? Conscious and subconscious. Talking about your logical part, and then the subconscious is really the I am of you, right? That's the divinity within the human being, right?
Right.
That's all he's saying. He's saying there's two natures twain within you, says Genesis, when Rebecca, I believe is it Rebecca or Rachel? Who's pregnant with the twins? Whoever is pregnant with the twins, Esau and Jacob. That's the Bible telling you. It's two natures within you. You have your carnal mind, which operates from the five senses, and then you have your spiritual or divine mind that sees beyond the physical. That's why we call it metaphysical, because it's going beyond what is there. It can see beyond your five senses. And so it's saying that part of you is the creator. That's your mind. That's the creative power within you. Is your ability to imagine. Like I was saying, that's what differentiates us between every other animal, is that we can consciously create.
Right. Well, no other animal has that ability except, our being, because we are made in the image of that which is consciousness, which is where we get our ability to create. There's no on and off switch of manifestation. Manifestation is no on and off switch to breathing. There's no on and off switch to your heart pumping. It just does. So is our manifesting. Our thoughts, our subconscious bring forth the seeds of our thoughts. And we have to learn to control what thoughts we want to give our energy to, our attention to. Now, how do you feel about the feeling part of it?
I think he's a little ambiguous with it, because when he says feeling, you can tell when he starts to describe it, he's talking about thinking.
Right.
And then other times he says feelings. So that's where people can get a little bit confused, right? Because at one point when he's talking about just feeling, he is saying it as though you could just put thinking there. And then you know that he's talking about your thoughts. And then when he talks about feelings and a mood, now he's talking about your emotions, right? But we know emotions really have no creative power, because emotions are a byproduct of thought. Because in the word, in the beginning was the word, right? And the word is just your intention, your idea, your belief system, your knowing, your trusting, right? And it has nothing to do if you feel good, if you feel sad, if you feel mad, if you feel angry, if you feel like that. You can feel any kind of way.
Or whether you feel hot or whether you feel cold.
Right. It's like Cheryl said, it's your attention to it.
Right.
That's what makes the law perfect. That it's always going to produce after its own kind. And so I know people feel like they gotta, you have people, I gotta be on a high flying disc. I gotta always feel good about the manifestation. I always gotta feel. To me, when he's talking about the right mood, it's about the knowing. That's the mood you want to be in, knowing that it's done, accepting it as real, making it normal and natural to you.
You think it's tied to intuition?
Yeah, intuitive knowing, right? That's a knowing, right? Being intuitively led is a knowing. Like, there's sometimes you can't even put that in words, right? You don't know why. I don't know why I know, I just know. And then nobody can talk me out of it. No one can convince me otherwise, right? It's just like, but it's not, to me, it's not a happy or a sad. It's not a glad or a mad. It's not excitement. For some people, it could be. And again, everybody's different. Everybody has a different, and again, we're not saying there's no wrongness there, right? There's no wrongness, but I do recall, because I have 300 of his lectures. I do, when someone asks him about how do you imply feelings, and he specifically said, when I was talking about feelings, I was not talking about emotions. He said that was not what he was talking about, because when you listen to him and he talks about the different techniques, it's always about touching it inwardly, right? It's feel that if you want to be married, feel the ring on your finger. Hear the person congratulate you. Feel the railing on the right, or feel this, right? He's talking about touching it using your five senses inwardly.
Yes.
That's what he means by feeling. And not to say that you can't emotionalize it, but you can be angry and upset and be passionate about it and still get the manifestation, right?
Toyia, could I share one thing?
Sure.
Something just came to when you were remember when I was the first one to speak? Kevin just hit it. It all came together just now. It's intuitive, because when I felt the car, it happened to me another time in the kitchen. I felt the kitchen was another kitchen that I was trying to get to. I never got excited. If you notice, I didn't even tell you I got excited. It just felt like it was that. Do that make sense? So to me, that is like an intuitive feeling that it is manifested. You know what I'm saying? But I never thought about that to just now. That's why I love y'all. Because now I wasn't excited. It wasn't that kind of feeling. It wasn't like, ooh, my new car. Nope. It was just I was getting in my new car. I felt that, if that makes sense, you know. Or in the kitchen, I felt like, oh, this is the new place. It was like that. So, you know, that's what it is. I think
it's kind of like a peace, right? Like a peace. Like you relax, like you just know. You don't.
It's done.
Yeah, like it's done. Yeah, like you've always had it, right? Like
I
it's
just got
always
in my car and went on about my business until next thing I knew I was really in the car, you know. But yeah, and the womb of creation. I remember you guys saying there's no separation, and that's what he was saying. But what I didn't realize, what came to me, I didn't realize it, but it just came together. He said that the womb of the subconscious is the womb of creation. And the conscious is like he said, it's just like a wife and a husband. They can become one. That subconscious and conscious is one. So when I thought about the womb of creation, that is definitely all mind. That's the whole world right there. The whole world must be just mind. It just came to me. I mean, I'm trying to get that concept. I believe it, but I'm the type I really want to get it. You know, I want to let it just be crystal clear to me. So things like this help me connect all those dots. That makes the picture, the big puzzle. Yeah, the womb of creation. Yeah, that's the whole mind. That's your whole world right there. That's it in front of you.
Yep. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Welcome everyone on YouTube. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Hey, DNA. Welcome, welcome, welcome. DNA Mindset Matters. Make sure you hit that like button, comment below, share because you care. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Toyia, I've had the emotional after the manifestation materialized. I mean, like if it's something, you know, that I imagined in my mind, and then it shows up outwardly, and then I would get excited and say, "Oh, see, I knew it. I told you, I knew it." The knowing, the intuition that you said, look, it happened. See, just like I said. And then the feelings would then get involved.
Right. If they followed, right? They followed the manifestation, right?
They followed the manifestation, not prior to.
Right. That has always been my experience too. When I decided something, and then when I'm telling somebody about it, then it's like, oh yeah, like I feel in this sense of accomplishment.
Right.
I'm like happy about it because it showed up just as I said it would, right? So you now you can tell it with glee, and you know. But when you said it, you was like, oh yeah, that's so, you know, and you dropped it, and you let it go, and you didn't really consider it anymore, and then it did whatever it needs to do and made its appearance.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. Hold on. Wait, I'm gonna go Cheryl, then I'm gonna go A-Town, and then so A-Town can give his perspective on the chapter. Go ahead, Kevin. Were you done? And then we're gonna go Cheryl.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. But that's it. Yep. I'm not saying everybody is right. We know everybody is different. But that is my same experience. I know everyone isn't going to experience the same way. I'm not saying that anyone else's, my experience trumps anyone. I'm just saying, yes, that's how I manifest. This is the key. You have to know you. This is all about getting to know you. What is it that you do that brings forth your desire? Because at the end of the day, that's all that matters. It doesn't matter what someone else does. It matters what's the recipe for you. Go ahead, Cheryl.
I had a question about what you're talking about emotions, because halfway through the book, and this caught my attention, Neville wrote, emotional disturbances, especially suppressed emotions, are the cause of all disease. To feel intensely about a wrong without voicing or expressing that feeling is the beginning of disease in both body and environment. And so the word suppressed, like, I just wanted to get your opinion on that, because to be honest, like, one of the things that I have a hard time expressing when I'm angry or upset, so I turn it inward. And I don't think that's good. Yet at the same time, my objective is not to be angry, because especially now, with this awareness.
Yeah.
But he did use the word suppressed.
Yeah.
So
See, I think
wanted
what he's talking about is being resentful, right? You're
Right.
harboring ill feelings towards others because you think they did something to you, right?
Yes.
That's he's talking about resentment. And yes, that bottle up turns into dis-ease, right? Because you're turning the problem inwardly instead of releasing it outwardly. Yes, it's okay to be angry. It's never wrong to be angry. The Bible even tells you, be angry but sin not. What does that mean? Experience the emotions of whatever happened, right? You can hit the wall, you can cuss, you can bang, you can scream, you can whatever. But don't say that now you can't have your desire. Because that would be sinning. To say that, oh, because I felt a certain kind of way, that now makes my desire null and void. No, it doesn't. Other than the only thing makes it null and void is your disbelief, your unfaithfulness. That's what causes it to be miscarried or aborted, right? Is because you didn't remain faithful to the end. But you can be angry about it. You can cry. You can do whatever. That's what he's saying. Release the tension. Release the hurt. Really let it all hang. It's a time to grieve. It's a time to mourn. It's a time to be angry. It's a time we're here to experience the full range of emotions here. That's why we have them. But you don't allow it to dictate or to master you. You're supposed to have control of them. Because it feels good to cry sometimes. Sometimes you just gotta cry and it's okay. Sometimes you just gotta fuss. Sometimes you just gotta be like, oh, I can't. Oh, right. Sometimes you gotta do that, right? Right. What was those? I don't know if they're still around, but when I used to watch reality TV shows and people would go to like certain places and they would like have something, they would hit things and and smash things and just throw things. They would break things up and they would just do all that just to get all the anger, just to get all that sense of pent up aggression, right? To release something. That's what he's saying. You got to release it or else you're going to cause it to show up as a dis-ease.
Okay.
I know that for sure. I've been through that.
Well, that's good to know just because I do feel like a lot of anger in me. And so it's okay to just let it out. I don't have to try to
keep your composure, right? Keep your composure.
Yeah, to get it out of me. Because sometimes, I know you say it's a thought, but that energy you feel,
Mm-hmm.
there are, I feel stuff in my body,
Mm-hmm.
with certain, experience, excitement or fear or whatever. So I feel like I'm trying to learn how to have a healthy relationship with my emotions without letting them sabotage I guess it's how I think about them.
Right. You're judging them. That's what we said. You got to start judging right? But if you're going to judge it, judge righteously. Say it's okay to feel this way. This is my human self. Let it go. Let it flow. Let it go. Let it go. Let it flow. Hey, things are going to work out. Don't you know? Let it go.
It's
Thank you, Tony Braxton.
At a local casino here, they had rage rooms.
That's what it's called, rage rooms. Thank you. That's what I was talking about. Yep.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yep. Hello, A-Town. How are you? Salute to you. Are you there?
Can you hear me?
Oh, we can hear you now.
Yes. Salute to you. Salute to the chat. Salute to the panel. Loving the vibe. Let me do what I got to do. I got to talk. Can you come back to me later on?
Okay. No problem. Okay.
All right.
Go ahead, Miss Kitty.
I wanted to share about the real Cheryl when because I had questions about that passage, that sentence. And so I'm glad to know. And I'm pretty expressive. And last night I had that exact experience thinking about something in my life and I got teary. And then, when I got teary and it was about individuals in my family. And I remember letting it go and thinking, but I still love them. but I had to get my little cry out about it. And so this morning I got the confirmation that that's how you do it. That's how to do it inside my mind. Where in the past I would ruminate on the resentment and the sorrow, even ruminate on the sorrow. You know, instead of just letting it go once I expressed whatever I needed to express with myself. So that was good. And the letting go part, when you're talking about the feelings with the letting go, and I was thinking during the discussion, I don't think also, like you guys came up with, express that we have to concern ourselves so much with how we feel, because when you manifest, we always talk about our past, all of us. We really was, not thinking and just doing, just living our lives. Like, for instance, again, when I was riding past those apartments all the time, I never thought about, I would love to be. I just thought about how beautiful they were. And I always was relaxed. And then once we passed them, I let it go. And then next thing I know, a couple of years later, I'm living there and loving it. But I never associated even having it. I just associated the beauty of it. I just always meditated as we were passing on the beauty of them and how nice they were, and they're located across the bayou from big mansions and blah blah blah. And the bayou was right there, and it had a big lawn. So I was just appreciating the beauty. Which brings us to, it just came to me, like the verse that you always bring up, think on these things. So I think that even as we come to realizing and mastering ourselves, that it's important to look, to reflect and see where our manifestations worked. In place of, or in lieu of, grabbing onto all these techniques.
Yep.
Because we have a natural innate knowing.
Yep.
Like you said, of what works for us.
Yep.
And I venture to say that I think it's pretty general for the letting go part. Well, it's in the Bible too, right? That's right. So it would naturally be an innate knowing, because what's let go and let God. So that's what it is. It's just not putting so much into the desire of having what you want. It's just want it and let it go.
Yeah.
And we can do it. We just have to practice and practice and practice, because we used to do it. Most of us, or a lot of us, I should say. I know I did. I used to do it easily and effortlessly with no limitation. However, the experience and the ability and the knowing got pushed aside the longer I experienced the world. The more I experienced the world, then the less I began to remember or not even remember, just naturally operate from a natural state.
Yep.
So that's what I wanted to say.
And I like, because I listen to Dr. Joseph Murphy too, and I like how he reminds us that your world is not against you. The supreme, the divine being, all there is, whatever you want to call it, that presence, that sovereignty, that intelligence is not against you. So the channel is always flowing. The good is always flowing. The only way that gets disrupted is your thinking about it. That's why he would always quote, and I believe it's Shakespeare, there is nothing good or bad, only thinking makes it so. So I get why people will say, well, don't think so much about it, right? But it's not telling you to let someone else think for you. It's telling you to learn how to just be in the moment, to just be in the spirit of now, and just let that good, because that's all there is. There's only God, there's only good in the world. And the only way that gets intercepted is that your belief that is not. That's it. The only reason why you experience difficulty and harm is because you believe in difficulty and harm. And if you would just choose to believe that that all things were for my good, that that thinking on the lovely and the pure and the noble and the just and the honest and the praiseworthy and the good report, if that will be your constant flow, then that's what will constantly flow.
That is profoundly correct. I think about, and I'm opening up. This is a very vulnerable confession I'm about to make, and it's not that it's just a major experience I had with, and of course I've always been very open about having been an activist and a revolutionary, and so, and I used to talk it at home. My mother said, this is one little quip I heard her saying one time when I was little, and I never forgot. She said, I don't know where she got that from. She came here like that. So.
Okay. So you didn't get it from me.
She was wringing her hands. She was like, she didn't want, because she would always tell me, Diane, you cannot be thinking like that. Because I'd be like, white people are. And she would be, Diane, you cannot go through life living like that. You just can't be thinking like that, because you'll never know who the people are that you meet, who they'll be. And you might find that, and I think life is going to teach you that white people can be good too. And so now at this point in my life, I have a white neighbor and my best friend that shows up for me. I don't care what it is, how much it is. She shows up for me without ever hesitating. Just you. What Cat Williams say when you he's made a joke about that. Get you some white people for some friends. And he said, you dial the wrong number. White people be like, wait a minute, let's find out what that number is. Now, is that last number supposed to be a 3 or a 4 or whatever, however he puts it. And then when he said, get you some white friends. I'm not advocating for anything. I'm just trying to illustrate my point. And he says, you get arrested and you call your white friends. They rush down to the police station and said, not Diane. She is the best person I know. Let's get her out of here. And so I think that my mom was trying, again, prophesying, so to speak, but wanting to teach me that you never know. And that's the way this particular girlfriend is. Unlike any of my other friends who are all Black, and I'm not putting anybody down. I'm just saying life taught me that lesson. That you
what Martin Luther say? Not the color of our skin, but the contents of our character.
That's right. That's exactly right. Because here I am living on this track, and my train of thought was always, racist and mean and selfish and oppressive. And again, no, I'm just saying my experience, because that's the only thing I can live my life from is my experience. I know there are different things happening out or wherever. However, it just was a poignant example for me of, again, what my mom said. I could just remember her pleading with me. And as long as I was on that train of power to the people, that's what my life was showing me. And then once I got off of it, because I got tired, and I just wanted to experience more harmony, things shifted.
Beautiful. Yeah, because everybody was programmed.
Right.
Everybody was programmed.
And you know what? But I was programmed as I got old. In my teenage, my young adult years. But as a child, this was something I brought with me. It really was, because I would sit. I remember sitting, looking out the window, ruminating. I'm talking about 7, 8, 9 years old.
So you didn't watch TV and stuff?
Not too much. No. not during the day when I was at home because I was the only child. Because we only watched TV together as a family, and so not during the day. I would just be ruminating, looking out the window, and thinking about the injustice of I read a lot, and one of the things
so what were you reading?
I was about to say, one of the things that my parents gave me to read. I mean, my mom bought me books, but my father read the newspaper. So we always had a newspaper. So I would read the newspaper a lot, learning how to read just to increase that skill.
Was there good stuff in the newspaper?
That's what I was about to say. So that's probably where
your program. So I just came like this. No, you didn't. You got programmed by that newspaper.
Got programmed by the news.
You might didn't get programmed by the TV, or and as you kept getting older and kept getting experiences that justified, or kept reading articles that justified what you were reading, right? It was just like that vicious loop, right?
Right. Yeah, I read a lot of newspapers and magazines because my parents kept those kinds of things around. Yeah. And that's something, I just got to that. Look, play the applause button because it's a breakthrough.
It's a breakthrough. It's a breakthrough. Love it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing. Oh wow, yep, those aha moments, as they say. Like, wow, yeah. We'd be surprised at how subtle this programming and conditioning is. But we all come just ripe and ready for it to be a sponge and just soak up our surroundings, our environment, the belief systems of others.
And I have always said that to my friends who raise children. Watch what you got this baby around, and y'all talking about all kinds of garbage and trash, and all this baby has to do is to lay there and soak it up. All this crazy music and TV shows, and all the baby is doing is laying there and soaking it up. So yeah, that was a big breakthrough. Look, I'm looking forward to bigger and bigger.
I know, right? Love it. Let's see. A-Town, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. You have the
Yes,
floor.
how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing excellent. Beautiful day. Loving the book. So what are we discussing? Because I see everybody giving feedback. What are we discussing?
Chapter 1. So
Okay,
if you have any highlights or any notes that you wanted to bring to the discussion.
For sure. Let me see. I love the fact that it kind of illustrates, it kind of like even allows me to, I think I've been kind of on a journey, but it really allows me to really slow down to see. I was thinking yesterday in preparation for this was like, not even preparation, just kind of thinking about, just really excited about the book club and just reading the book. And, I kind of, I listened to the audiobook, so I done kind of gone through, just off top, but really to even sit down with your thoughts, and to not even judge, is I've always judged my thoughts. I've always assumed that my thoughts were me. You know what I mean? Like, and it put me in and then if I'm thinking, and I'm giving you like past tense, saying, so it's kind of changing now for sure, but just kind of seeing, so if I thought my thoughts were me, and then what I would thinking would be my 3D, my world would be hell, you know what I'm saying? Just like the reflection, like, if I'm mad or somebody did something to me, I'm thinking that's facts. So how the fuck I'm gonna do what I gotta do to get, they busters, and I gotta get out this Busterville situation. So, but I'm reveling in being mad. So my thoughts is like, okay, damn, I'm supposed to be this good guy, so whatever. So, or, just validating, invalidating everything. So it's just like a psycho situation, you know what I'm saying? Psychoanalysis type situation. It felt like, and so I would judge my thoughts, and my thoughts would judge the 3D. So, and I didn't have an escape. I didn't know how to regulate what that is. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have a, coming from the Christianity, you don't, oh, well, yeah, it'd be craziness what they kind of told you, you know what I'm saying? And so I couldn't, and that's what it really kind of allowed me to really embrace the journey of oneness awareness, is because it's like, hold on, this stuff it wasn't working at all, and I love how Neville really breaks down, it kind of allows me to kind of channel who we are as a human spirit, channel our emotions, channel just all those human experiences that we have, and to not let it bog us down and create this tumultuous cycle of psychobabble, and next thing you know, you don't know how to get out your own shit. You know what I'm saying? You just in some, you don't know how you got there, but it's by way of allowing you to feel or judge your thoughts, and then your thoughts is of what you feel like the situation is, with no awareness or no power to control either your desired feelings, the wish fulfilled, to put your God on it, you know what I'm saying? To know who you are. And so, I just, then I fell in love with the group again, you know what I'm saying? The community, like, damn, this is a blessing. I manifested this jaunt, and all others too, I have others that, that definitely resonate with me or whatever, but this is definitely a pivotal. I see where the book is definitely allowing me to really see how much I've grown, how much I've been able to take in too, because sometimes, I don't know if it's just me, but when I hear certain things, sometimes it just don't click right away. I got to either hear it over and over again. I have to either or it has to, almost like what somebody said, either Kitty or Teddy, was like the connecting of the dots. You know what I'm saying? Where I gotta see those dots connected. You know what I'm saying? I'm kind of analytical in terms of just how, and I even want to drop that analytical type mindset. I just want to drop everything like it is. I am. It, whatever the case is, and to really break down any filters that I had of accepting who I am and accepting what I want as God. You know what I'm saying? My imagination. So I'm definitely excited about what we're coming into with this book. Definitely excited about what I'm able to really go over and really just kind of like self-reflect and just grow into as well. You know what I'm saying? So that's my submission.
Your 2 cents. Thank you. Very valuable. Very, very valuable 2 cents. Love it. Love it. Love it. Yes, this is the DNA. This is Neville Goddard that I have on the screen. Feeling is the Secret. We're discussing the first chapter. So he is referring to this platform. We are having a book club. And we're discussing Neville Goddard's book, The Feeling is the Secret. Very, very short book. I think it says only 4 chapters, so we'll be done in 4 weeks. Got 3 more weeks. We'll tackle the second chapter next week, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Go ahead. You about to say something, A-Town?
No, I was gonna say, I like how you got the, Feeling is the Secret, Neville, represent Neville back there.
Thanks to Gemini.
Yeah, for sure, right?
Not Gemini, Guac. I use Guac actually.
Okay. You gotta give me a list of all these guys you using.
We're Guac, Gemini, and ChatGPT. They all make images. Claude is good, but Claude doesn't make an image.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You got all your partners.
I know, right?
No, that's good. That's real good.
Yeah, so I know Neville Goddard, when he talks about the subconscious, and I think this is before he decided to just call it the imagination, God, and he's telling you how the law works and saying that you as the conscious operant power are deciding what you would like to experience, but you of your own self have no creative power in making it come into form, right? Not your personality, not the part of you that has decided what it is you want. And he doesn't say it in this book, he says in another book that every desire you have is a desire from you to you, right? It is coming from the greater part of you that is giving it to you that wants to experience it. Right? So every desire you have is coming from the greater part of you. That's why it says you already possess it. It's already yours. So it's not about getting it from over there to over here. It's about expressing that which is within. And so when you're deciding that you want to be abundant, you want to experience, health and what type of relationships you want to have, it is very important that you think on the things as though you already possess it. Therefore, I say to you, whatever you desire, whatever you decide to experience, when you pray, acknowledge the thing desired. That's the prayer. You're acknowledging its existence. Believe, accept it as a reality, and then you will have it, because what? You already have it. So it's doubling down on having it. When you decide you do have it, guess what? You will have it. It's that simple. It's up to you to decide that you have it, right? And it's not even about whether it's general or specific. You can be as general as you want to go, or you could be as specific as you want to go, right? Because we're also reminded now unto him that is able to do exceedingly. So it didn't even come into your minds. It didn't even enter your mind some of the things that God has in store for them that walk upright before him and is able to do exceedingly or abundantly above anything you could have ever asked for. So a lot of times you do receive a double portion. The heavens do open up and pour out a blessing that you just do not have room enough to receive. And you're going to be swimming in wealth if you just allow the avalanches of wealth to come on through. Stop blocking the blessing. And how do you block the blessing? You speak it, you think in opposition of it. You talk about it as though it's not there. You cause that which is unseen to never make an appearance. Because without faith, it is impossible to please the law. Go ahead, A-Town.
All right, cool. Yeah, so I gave my little personal experience as my first mission, but this chapter it was so juicy. I will have to say, you know what I'm saying? Because I had to go back to the chapter, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, it was so juicy. Let me go ahead and read a little part. So I love the part where it says, not to judge, hold on, where does it say? It says not to judge each other. Dang, I just had it. Oh yeah, do not dwell on the imperfection of yourself and others. That was so big to me. Okay, then it says, do not dwell on imperfection. So to do so is to impress the subconscious with these limitations. What you do not want done unto you, do not feel that it is done unto you or another. This is the whole law of a full and happy life. Everything else is commentary. I love that part because, yeah, I was the total complete opposite. I would judge your ass to the bone.
To have it, huh? To have it, huh?
Man, I would let them have it. You hear me? And if they and thinking that they heard my conversation, or they could just see it in my eyes. You know what I'm saying? Knowing I got the most pleasant expression, but but just to know that not to dwell, and I would be going in. You know what I'm saying? And it was the worst. And I could really resonate where it says like that shit. It gets on you. It don't do nothing for them. It's all on your ass. Like you suffer from that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a waste of my time, a waste of my energy, a waste of my imagination, a waste of my beautiful imagination. You know what I'm saying? Let's not get that twisted. Like I think what you guys said earlier. Just even be grateful that I ain't no animal. You know what I'm saying? Like I love nature. I love watching lions, like the human aspect, like the mom, how protective they are, the dad, you know what I'm saying? How, the little cubs get on their nerves. He go, rah, you know what I'm saying? And the little cubs, skirmish, but they come right back to him. You know what I'm saying? I love how just the innate love, you can see love in nature. You know what I'm saying? Like you can see it and it's innate. You know what I'm saying? However, when it comes to humans, you know what I'm saying, we got a little free will going on, you know what I'm saying? But just to know that we can choose and we can change ourselves to experience a more beautiful world, and we can experience the best. And I have to kind of bring back some stories because in church, man, church is the devil. Church is the devil. I ain't even gonna lie to
You
you,
say it's
man.
the devil.
It is because
it is the Antichrist. We said that it is anti. It is. They have the form of godliness, but deny the power thereof. They deny the power of the Christ mind.
I promise you, yo, I almost said because I have vivid experiences of being judged and being in conversations where people are judging. Like my grandmother, she was a super gossiper. You know what I'm saying? Me and my brother, we sit back after church or whatever, and you know, before she get out of the car, she's about to have an hour and a half long conversation with so and so, sister so and so, and they about to talk about everybody in the church. You know what I'm saying? This and that. Now, true indeed, you know, they were the type of people, you know, like she was an evangelist, so she'd be praying over everybody. But there was it's a thin line between you getting your prayer list for and your ass gossiping about somebody else. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. But I learned that, you know, church was just a gossip center. You know what I'm saying? And it just it was just you know.
What the Bible say? All gossipers will have their place in hell. But anyway.
Yeah. And so my grandmother also, she loved to watch the stories, and I hated that because that was just the worst. You know what I'm saying? Because you've seen all these bad relationships. I ain't never seen no real good happy relationship in the stories. As the world turns,
man, I used to be locked in during the summer. I didn't watch Channel 5, I watched Channel 7. Yeah, All My Children, One Life to Live, in General Hospital, Ryan's Hope. That was they was all on, because that's what my mother watched too. I watched all the soaps. Yep. And as a teenager, yep.
Yeah, I'd be sitting there watching it because that's what she had on. She'd be cleaning her little brass. She had plastic on the couches, and you know, we come in and, you know, that'd be on, you know what I'm saying? She'd be making dinner or something like that. But I would never, you know, in my mind, just the energy of the soaps, I just never seen anything good come out of the soaps.
You're right. You're right. It was a whole lot of drama. It was a soap opera. It was a drama.
And I never, so it was just like, it was just kind of like mind boggling. Like, anyway, that's my, so the book, this chapter was so juicy. I have some other stuff and I'll kind of let some other people share, but I definitely enjoyed just kind of going through, checking stuff off, highlighting stuff, and really sitting with it too, allowing me to really kind of like marinate on, okay, what's going on right now? Let's do a little audit. You know what I'm saying? Where is this at? How am I taking in consideration of my imagination? Is my imagination the highest? Is it the most beautiful thing in the world? Also, I wanted to say too, church allowed you to soak in stuff. And okay, I ain't gonna go at the church, you know, a little bit, but they just wanted you to soak in your misery type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck? Like, oh, let me lay hands on you. You ain't done yet. Oh, yeah, man, this shit is crazy. And I'm only going back to it because it's like, I ain't gonna say it's remnants, but it's like Neville opens up different compartments that on everyday usage, we be on autopilot half the time. You know what I'm saying? And I recognize, and that's what I did yesterday. Like I wanted to make sure I want to be intentional, and that's why I preach about God mode. Y'all, if y'all now, are we still doing it? Because it's like a habit to me now. You know what I'm saying? God mode every 5 minutes, 5 minutes a day, 5 o'clock. I do mine at 6, but
it's supposed to be 6 a.m., but it's whatever you decide you wanted to do it. Yeah, you go as long as you make it your life, if that's what you want. You know, like I mean,
and but so appreciative of that. And that's how I kind of like, man, you in the zone. You know what I'm saying? Like you people that are pursuing, and I'll even say godliness. You know what I'm saying? And also wanting you to embrace it in your own situation. You know what I'm saying? Church allows you, or you can't get it unless you come through here. You sitting on the front row. You got 4 Bibles. You was just in fasting. You was just in you know what I'm saying? All this stuff, and you giving 15%. You know what I'm saying? You above and beyond. You a good, you know, whatever. So, you know, all the acts. You know what I'm saying? And so I love the vibe, love the community. And so I'm gonna let somebody else go because I'm gonna. You know,
No. You good. Anyone have any? You can unmute it now. I'll let you go. I'm gonna read this quote from Neville. Chance or accident is not responsible for the things that happen to you, nor is predestined fate the author of your fortune or misfortune. It's your subconscious impressions that determine the conditions of your world. And so I believe what he's saying your subconscious impressions, it's your awareness of that state or unawareness of that state, right? But it's the state that you're occupying is the cause of the reality. Is what are you saying about yourself? What story are you telling? Because that's the story you're experiencing. Go ahead, Cheryl.
I like that you just said that because I was looking at something in the book too that said your feelings create the pattern from which your world is fashioned, and a change of feeling is a change of pattern. And so like the awareness of it, because again, like I'm someone who I feel a lot in my body, you know, like, resistance, or I'll feel it. And yesterday I was out, I'm taking one of our bedrooms and making I'm going to kind of make a meditation space for myself. And so I was out buying some curtains and a rug and stuff. And, you know, I've had a really good few months, like with my dog sitting. So I have, you know, not some money to spend, but I was noticing at the checkout, like just the feeling in my body of like a contraction, right? Like I'm spending this money, you know. But I was grateful because then I could, you know, I changed the thought, like, oh no, it's good. But it's again, like having that awareness of like when I'm in contraction to like because I do believe our consciousness is either in that limited contraction or the expansive awareness. So sometimes like, it's just, well, for me, like I'm getting much better at catching it in the moment and not being like on that, like what A-Town said, like autopilot. And I feel grateful for that too, because I do think, you know, my relationship with money, like has been a lot of it's been in the darker parts or the, you know, without the awareness. And so I was grateful to kind of catch it in real time so I could change it. So I like, you know, in the book, I identified like with those like I like the word pattern just because, again, it's not personal. You know, it's what we all kind of do. We have our thought patterns, our habits, and just recognizing them in the moment and then changing them and not like you said, not making it a big deal, just deciding for a different thought. And I feel that's really starting to impress upon me, you know, to do that more frequently.
Yes, love it. He says the subconscious is not concerned with the truth or falsity of your feeling. It always accepts as truth that which you feel to be true. So whatever you're accepting as a reality will be your reality. Go ahead, Miss Teddy.
Check this out. I remember an experience, and this is when I was practicing Christianity to whatever degree I was practicing it, that I had a phobia, you know, that I think the name of it, but when you're afraid of heights, I mean, I really did, of heights to the point, like, you know, if you're up real high and you look down and your stomach just go, whoa, like that really, and you step, like if I was in a high apartment and I looked out, I would have to kind of step back away from the window because I just felt that. So watch this. I was over a friend's house and they stayed on, I forget what's floor. I forget it was really up high. That's all I remember, like way up there. And I'm out on the balcony. But at the time I'm out on the balcony, the discussion we were having was about God and God's greatness and stuff like that, the way we used to talk. Now, this is within Christianity. I'm so happy to be able to look back and realize now how to take those very things that you're talking about and thinking and realize what you were really talking about now. Like now, but watch this. I'm stepping out. I'm talking, and we out there, and I'm like, I'm up. When I went out, I turned my back. I didn't want to look the other way. I wanted to look inside of the environment. So I turned around and was sitting looking that way because of that feeling. Then I just got to talking and got all involved in how good God was and just everything to create all of this stuff. And then next thing I knew, I had stood up, y'all, and I was just standing up almost like a preacher, like standing up and I was talking. And it hit me. I wasn't. That was I'm telling you, I was no longer scared. I said, I don't believe this. I just hate, in other words, to show you how the mind is the biggest control of everything. I was like, I'm not even scared anymore. And I realized that. And I'm like, from that point to this point, whenever I'm, I don't even couldn't tell you the last time I felt it, to be honest. But if it ever happens, at least I know now, all I have to do is realize the goodness of the God in me. That's all I can say. That's gonna take it away, because that's what took it away that time. And that was just that was a strong and Miss I'm sorry, the other lady I can't never who just talked about that experience. If I had known what I know now, I could have been a great manifester of money if I was doing all of that. But I've always been a great manager of money. My family knows this. However little or however big, I can manage money. Mm-hmm. My mother used to say, I called it frugality. I said I was frugal. I give a lot. I gave a whole lot, but I was just frugal. And I say that to say, now that where I'm at now, when I find myself, I know that feeling, I know where she's talking about. I find myself there sometimes. But what I do now, and I'm going to show you what the results are. I just totally let that go. I'm like, nope, I have an abundance. I start saying that. I have an abundance. I'm okay. I have an abundance. Not only do I purchase the thing I might have been trepidatious about, I even purchase some other stuff. I say, oh, shoot. Like, once I start saying I have an abundance, I'll not just haphazardly, but I'll pick up some other things that I may not have. Mm-hmm. And guess what? One or two things happen, and this is the truth. The first thing happened is I'm never in lack. It never took away nothing that I needed for nothing else. Mm-hmm. I was enjoying that I did purchase, or I get an increase. And that's the truth. You just have to stop. You have to take yourself out of that state of mind, mm-hmm. To that degree, like where mm-hmm. you're implanting it out there. Yep.
Beautiful.
So, I want to share that.
Beautiful. That's it. Yep. When you have a shift in consciousness, the world must reflect it. It's so simple. So simple. Just got to maintain the reality of it. Go ahead, Miss Kitty.
I just wanted to add to the conversation too, because again, we're talking about expanding our minds and monitoring our thoughts and our feelings. And the other thing that I found that subtly but profoundly affects my mind, because my thoughts, because I hear myself ruminating on it. I'm using that word a lot today. Watching television and talking about the characters inside my head. Gotta be careful.
It is funny. I was talking to one of my girlfriends yesterday. That's what she said. She used to watch. She said it's the reason why she don't watch Basketball Wives anymore, because she would start dreaming about how she's going, kick two of the characters' butt. She said, you know what? I don't even have to give them this energy. So she started watching it, because she said she got so consumed by it. Because she just felt they were mean girls. And she was like, oh, I just don't like the way they're behaving. And she dreamed about it. She's like, this is too much. I just need to stop watching them.
Right. Again, where we land our imagination to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What we land our imagination to. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yep. That's it. And we have so many options on what, if we do want to watch television, what we can decide to watch, right? You have a lot of movies out there all about the mind, and it's not even disguised, right? You have Inception, you have Limitless, right? You have Inside Out, you have The Matrix, you have Everything Everywhere All at Once, right? You have so many, Lucy, you have so many, Doctor Strange, you have so many that you can obviously tell, oh, this is all about the mind. This is all about how we create our reality. This is how, these are the powers that we have to manipulate what's going on in our world. Like everything literally does begin and end with us, and the more we operate from that power, sometimes we slip. Yeah, a lot of us, we slip back into thinking that the 3D is real, right? Well, we know the only reality is consciousness, is your awareness, is what you're aware of, because it's not what's going on out there. It's when you start thinking that out there has some power. When you get lost in the illusion, when you get lost in project, and when we say illusion, we mean the projection of what's within, right? That's what we mean when we say, oh, that's an illusion. It's not that it's not real, it's that it's real, but the realness is happening within you, not outside of you. There is no, I like when we was reading the book Busting Loose from the Money Game, right? And how the author was reminding us there is no out there. You are the consciousness populating different people and circumstances into your reality based on your choices, based on your decisions, right? And he gives an excellent way on how to look at money. If some of you are still working that through in your mind about, because he lets us know that the money game, that the game of money from a societal point of view, that construct built up is a game not built for anybody to win, right? Because he makes he points out that a lot of times when you get a house, right, you love your house. It's beautiful, it's amazing, it's wonderful, right? It has everything you need. And then you go to a neighbor house or a friend house, and theirs is twice as much as yours, twice as big, right? And then all of a sudden you start questioning, is yours sufficient? Is yours enough? Because you saw that someone else could manifest, in that whole comparison thing. And now you're trying to decide, oh, did I think too small? Did I not think big enough? Oh my goodness. I have to try to outdo this, or come from a truthful place and say, no, because again, there's no judgment there. No judgment ever, is never any judgment. But it's like you have to, like, when I always ask the question, is anything too much in the world of infinite abundance? Nothing can never be too much because everything is infinite. Right? So it's whatever you have the capacity to hold. But even the Bible says, oh, I can fill you into overflow though. So it's more than what you can hold. Because I'm going to give it to you more than you, because I'm going to overflow. I'm going to pour out blessings you don't have room enough. I'm going to do exceedingly abundantly, right? So even what you have the capacity to contain, infinite intelligence said, I can do one better. I can do more than you ever thought was possible. I can exceed your expectations. I can go beyond your fondest dreams. Just stop blocking the flow. Your only job is to stop blocking it. Your job is not to make it come. Your job is already coming. The channel is already coming. The only thing that stops the water flow is what? Is a clog, right? If you know a channel is bringing water and all of a sudden the water gets stopped, then you know it's something wrong with the channel. It's nothing wrong with the water. It's nothing wrong with the source. It's something wrong with the channel in which the source is flowing. So you got to unclog the pipe. You got to unclog the channel. You got to allow the flow to stop being interrupted. And it's when, we stop the flow, when we start thinking about the impossibilities. We start to doubt. We start to operate in fear. Right? And I know I'm using we, but I'm talking about me. I, right? We, muscle, we, but yeah, me. Because there is no we. There is no they. Who they? Who they? And, I know Neville has here, in defining your objective, you must be concerned only with the objective itself. The manner of expression of the difficulties involved are not to be considered by you. And that's when we get our butts in the way, right? But how? But when? But how long? But how? And who's going to help? Where's my help? Who's going to do it? Who's going to play there? None of your business. None of your business. Thank you. Free to be on time. Free to be online. Thank you. Everything, everywhere, all at once. That's really, I'm like, I need to watch that movie again. Because the first time I watched it, I really wasn't into it. And then I kind of saw like I'm like, wait a minute. She's showing the multiple possibilities that she could experience in her life. And it was showing up, well, if I had took this, or if this thing had happened, it's like a really good movie. Because there are, like they called it the quantum field. But here's the thing. When you start talking about the quantum field, right? When you start talking about metaphysics and quantum mechanics, right? And you start talking about quantum, but where is the field? Because they make you think the field is out there, but where is actually the field? The field is in you. The infinite possibilities, the infinite potentialities are not out there. They're within you. They're within your own mind. That's where infinity exists, in you. That's where infinite potentialities or possibilities exist. Yep, your universe, right? You're the universe. One song, one melody, one chord. It's all you. Nothing outside of you. That's the beauty of it. And we just have to, continue to mind our mind. Who wanted to speak? Did someone come off mute? Oh, go ahead, Miss Kitty.
Eternally.
Eternally. Forever and ever and ever.
Infinitely eternal.
Infinitely eternal.
It's you.
Yes. Yep.
Forever and ever and ever.
Yep.
It's you.
And the thing is, and a lot of times we try to separate consciousness. I like how Neville says, consciousness is really one and undivided. But for creation's sake, it appears to be divided into two. Right? When we talk about the male and the female. It appears to be divided, right? It appears that in order to bring forth a manifestation, you need, to bring a baby through the portal or the birth canal of a woman, it appears that we need a male involved, right? But even science is saying, you don't even need the sexual act anymore. Yeah, you just need that, that sperm from you. And we could just put it in the woman. And whoop, there it is. Whoop. Whoop, there. Like they said, oh, you don't even need a man. You just need the little sperm. That's all you need. So in essence, you would need the man, right? Because where you getting sperm from, right? It has to come from the male's gender. It has to come from the male, right? So you truly do need it for the sake of creation, but we understand the man and woman are not two, they're one. Even science says that men all begin as a woman. Everyone starts off as a woman. And then nature takes its course and it decides who's going to be male and who's going to be female. Right? All is one. Saying they break off into their own thing. We got our own thing. Have it. We got our own thing. Yeah, so, we talk about, talking about something being subconsciously accepted and all that. That gets to be a little woo-woo-ish. I like keeping it super simple. It's just whatever you're giving your attention to. It's really that simple. Like Miss Kitty said, every time she would just admire them and see the beauty in them. Well, what was she doing? Giving her attention to it without any resistance to it. And she's like, oh my goodness, these parts are just so beautiful. They're just look. So, oh my goodness. She's giving her attention to it. That was her asking or commanding, because her attention is just like when people say, well, I didn't ask for the unwanted. I didn't ask for these things to happen. What were you talking about? What was you giving your attention to? Because then the I am within you, the power that is just going to recreate whatever you're imagining, whatever you're focusing on. So if you are continuously in conversations about lack and never having enough money and eking out a living and complaining about, the raises on your job and it's never enough money, well, and then you get confirmation of it. And then someone tells you what's the way you think it. What you mean someone thinking? I didn't ask for this. But it's what you always talk about not having enough money. So then you just would never have enough money. I mean, I don't know that's how it goes. If you always talk about not having enough money, you cannot be surprised that you don't ever have enough money. Now, from the human standpoint, no, you're not asking for something to come and take your finances away from you. But from the law standpoint, consciously, you gave your attention to it and you were conjuring up the reality of never having enough money. Of course, you don't want that to happen. You want to experience more money than you can know what to do with. Of course. Many of us could attest to, yes, that's a very hefty desire of ours. But the law, it cannot be. What did it say? You cannot. What's that? I was listening to Reverend Ike this morning, and he was talking about you cannot use God's name in vain. Right? You cannot use the name of the Lord, thy God, in vain. And what he say? The name of the Lord, the nature of the law. Right? Name means nature. Lord means law. So you can never use the nature of the law in vain. You always going to get what you think about, what you focus on, what you give your attention to. That's why the Bible commands, you need to guard that heart with all diligence. Because guess what's flowing out of it? The issues of life, the things you're going to experience. So you better think on what's lovely and what's pure and what's honest, what's praiseworthy, what's virtuous, what's a good report. What's a good report? Dang, I got so much money, I don't even know what to do with it all. I just give freely to any, I give freely, I circulate freely. I'm not stifling, I'm not stopping up the channels. I just let it flow, let it go, because I know that what goes around must come back again, because I'm circulating. I don't spend money, I circulate money. I don't spend money, I invest money. Or I always get a return, a ROI, return of investment with my money. So you got to talk like that. You got to know that. And even if at first you're saying it and it doesn't seem real and doesn't seem natural, this is where you have to become an actor and learn how to rehearse the life you want to experience. Write the script. Write the vision. Make it plain that they that may read it shall run towards it. It's right there in the script, Habakkuk 2:2. Are you writing the vision and making it plain, or are you complicating it? Because the Bible says make it plain. I think you're complicating it too much. You're trying to add the hows and how to or how nots and don't do this and don't do that. That's none of your business. You're only supposed to write the vision, not how to bring forth the vision. Stop trying to figure out how to bring forth the vision and just write it and rehearse it and be it. Just be it. You know, you gotta talk loving to yourself. You gotta make that a habit. You have to have it, you know, a lot of us had, some of us still do, the habit of beating up ourselves. How you beating yourself up? Why you always tearing yourself down? Why you always seeing being a pity party? Woe is me. And that's unnecessary. Because since it's only you in the world, there's no one else to blame. There's no one fingers to point. It's just to change if you don't like it. That's it. Go ahead, Miss Teddy.
Listen, yeah, because what happens is when I was practicing Christianity and reaching outside of myself, I was a whole lot on myself than I was now, because when you realize and literally realize you have been with you from the beginning of time. Nobody, you have been with you. You remember, I mean, you can go back when when Miss Kay said she sat on the steps when it was a little girl. When anybody, all of us, you go back and think when you were little and just think about things. No matter what else was going on, stuff was going on, stuff made, traumatic, whatever, around you. But it was you that was with you. That's where it comes to me now. It was like, wow, I've been with me all my time. It was always me. Mm-hmm. And once you get to that, no, I'll be like, oh, you done did absolutely. Baby, you have done beautifully if you just want to keep it in that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That keeps you away from thinking that other side, because you're the one that's been with you all the time. That's what helped me stop beating up on myself. That's all I can say. It's when I realized that it was really me. And so, like you said, we're on a path to trying to be a better me. That's all. Not a better. If I'm gonna be better, I want to be better for the God in me. I'm not being better to be judged by something outside of me. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I'm not going for that. Yep.
Love it.
So that's all. Yep.
Yep. That's it. The Neville says, however, it is eternally true that the outside mirrors the inside, as within, so without. A man can receive nothing unless it is given him from heaven. And the kingdom of heaven is within you. Nothing comes from without. All things come from within. He's calling it the subconsciousness. He later starts saying the imagination is coming from God, from the God within, right? So like I said, Dr. Joseph Murphy stayed with subconscious mind and said that was the womb of creation. Neville further changes it to the imagination. Go ahead, A-Town.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, definitely resonate with that, because I'm able to really sit with it in real time, to know what to really harness, what to really, I think it's a phrase or something that says, you can only control what you can control. Or I think Murphy even talks about that. You don't need to worry about what you don't control. You only need to focus on what you can control. And that is so empowering, because once you realize ain't nothing out there that you can control, for me, it's definitely like, hey, bro, you was over here trying to mentally be Thor and, flick your fingers and thinking people gonna pass out and die, you know what I'm saying, unalive, whatever, just thinking you Thor, thinking you just, with your mind, and fortunately certain things did come out, with my mind, but it's like, hold on, I don't think I wanted it like that, but to know that I can take control.
The toxic said it can happen.
Knowing I can.
The toxic said it can happen.
Yeah.
Just saying,
it did. So it's like, okay, hold on. Say that again, Toxic.
I was just saying, I've seen some things happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Nah, no doubt about that. And so And then again, just wanting to be, pleasant. I think one of the verses that that resonate with us that you repeat is think on these things that are pure, lovely, sound mind. And that, that brings a whole different type of illumination to our personality too, right? Because unfortunately, I recognize that I don't know if it's me outward or inward or whatever, but some people just ain't on that vibe. You know what I'm saying? Some people just ain't there, and I can't help it anymore, knowing that nothing can't happen to me. And I used to feel like that way in a more ego way, like ain't nobody gonna do nothing to me, rah that, rah this. Now it's on a whole different God mode. Like it's no more ego mode, it's God mode. That nothing can happen to me, and that I don't want to happen, and that my imagination can control it, but also to take flight with what do I want instead. But I think Cheryl had mentioned not to think about the ugly. And then I had thought, I was in that same disposition where it's like, okay, I'm in the, I had to, throughout the journey, I had to take the step further. Okay, what do I want to think about? What is it that that is, that will empower me, or what do I have, again, what do I have control over, or what, how can this experience? I'm reading this one book, I was reading a book, Power of Consistency, dope ass book. Now I'm reading another book, The Obstacle is the Way, another dope ass book. But it just talks about how certain situations are meant to make us better. It allows us to play the game. And I think, the Money Game book, that really showed you where it really broke down the matrix of what we think money is, because I think all our world, they say money and everything, but man, when you wake up, you gotta, we gotta make it, before, we gotta make it happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't really teach you in growing up, like how much money is going to be integrated or intertwined and around money. You know what I'm saying? Like your whole entertainment, you want this, money. You like this, money. You want, you know what I'm saying? So as you grow older, without that bridge, you either have it or you don't. And if you don't know any better, you're stuck in that matrix. Like, okay, I don't. Damn, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like, what the hell is this? Okay, well, damn. Okay, they got it, but I ain't got it. So you kind of like, you do mental gymnastics, and if you don't know how to create a financial abundant mindset, you know what I'm saying? If you ain't got it like that, or if you haven't had that awareness, like lack is an illusion, separation is illusion. So what does that mean? That we're always abundant, that, and I'm talking to myself, of course, you know what I'm saying? That I'm always abundant, that I always have everything that I need and more, right? So again, with the spending, I be having to check myself too. And I even had to check myself because it's like, I like bargain shopping. So I'm, I don't think that, so if I go to Saks, if I go to Nordstrom's, you know what I'm saying, and Zara's and stuff, to be honest with you, I go to the clearance rack because I know it's gonna be some fresh ass shit, you know what I'm saying, that some bomb ass stuff on sale, and I ain't gotta be spending they about to get me on some retail. I ain't no retail.
I love
nigga,
a
you know
deal.
So I'm about to get it on, 70. Yeah. I'm a deal ass nigga, you know what I'm saying? I'm all, I got plugs for days. I used to have boosters, I used to have all that, so it's on a different mindset. We ain't gonna go there. But I was always that type of dude, so I never thought of it being broke, you know what I'm saying? But, I always had to check myself because little shorty wanted to, she was, we was out and she wanted to spend something. And me, she was getting the retail stuff. I was going over to the clearance, you know what I'm saying? So I had to check myself, like, hold on, she putting stuff in the bag that ain't on clearance, and I'm over here trying to stop the clearance. So I was like, hold up. I ain't going to shortchange myself, you know what I'm saying? I'm clearance, and, if somebody want to spend retail, hey, we could do retail too. Because, I ain't going to shortchange myself, but I do love, I love when I see 70% off. With somebody else, they bought it for 100%, I got it for 70% off, you know what I'm saying? Or I bought a lady friend a coat. The junk was originally like $139, and we put it, we rewrite it up that jump with number like $11. You talk about like 91% of. I be thinking about that like, yeah, that get me.
But that
high.
lets you know it's all a game, because clearance versus retail is just some ish we made up to decide, well, I get to charge you this price for this, and I get to reduce this price for
Right.
that, when it doesn't even make a difference. It's just
Right.
get whatever you want, and the numbers don't matter. It's that we've been told that they matter, and that it's
Right.
not a game when it's a game. It doesn't, you know, get what you
Right.
want, because that's what you want. That's what you choose to do. Shop whatever
That's
makes
what I
you
want.
feel, whatever sits right with you, right? Whatever you have decided, do that.
Right.
I think the
Absolutely.
judgment is the issue when it comes to money, because we've been taught
It
to
is.
judge people based
It is.
on how big their account is, right? We say, oh, you have no value, you have no right to teach, you have no right to be contributing to the world unless you have a certain amount in the bank. We have
Yeah.
placed people's
Yeah.
value
Let me ask you a question.
attached to their bank account. Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's such a good point. And that's something I'm having to, really not analyze, but just I want to catch it. You know what I'm saying? Or I want to be able to be on the opposite end where everybody, and even think
Right,
about
because
what
it's
other-
your
what I
world,
said
right?
earlier.
It is
I wouldn't even think- I
literally
just saw-
your world. It's literally your world. So what do
Right.
you want to experience in
Right.
your world?
Right. Yeah, no, that's a fact. And even seeing, because I deal with and I don't know how the responsible way to say it, but I deal with I deal with people in transition. I deal with people. I'm in the community. You know what I'm saying? I'm in the streets. So I'd be helping, a wide variety of colorful, community people, and some of them will be I'll say roofless. There's roof ROOFLESS, roofless, not homeless. I say they just don't want a roof, you know what I'm saying? And so be it. So and so I, even seeing that, because we put services out there for different those type of people. You know what I'm saying? And so having an understanding of, okay, they aren't poor, they aren't homeless, they aren't that anymore. You know what I'm saying? Just changing my mindset on how I'm seeing them, to where it's not from a judgment place, but I'm solution oriented with them. Being able to see, and that helps me allow them to see what they really need. Because sometimes people just need a friend. I used to be homeless. I used to be certain things, and I used to be a vagabond. You know what I'm saying? Thinking, my good loving is what's keeping me in his house, but I shouldn't have been there. I should have been, outro. I should have been, kicked her to the curb because she ain't know how to treat nobody. You know what I mean? Other stuff. Anyway, that's years ago. However, just understanding if I just had a friend, you know what I'm saying, or somebody that would have been able to communicate or just kind of, impress upon me that there is another way, or being able to bring some solutions to my table. You know what I'm saying? Everybody wanted me to do what they thought was good for me, whereas myself, I thought of myself a different way. My self-concept was something different. So now when they see me, or years later, after they see me, oh, okay, you wasn't that dude, you know what I'm saying, that was homeless, or that we've seen that needed all this extra prayer and attention, quote unquote, fasting, praying. You just needed somebody, you just needed to, to find your way and to get your hustle on. So anyway, yeah, land my plane.
Love it, love it, love it. Thank you.
Hey, let me say something.
Hold on.
I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Latoxa, did you want to say something?
Nope.
Oh, okay. Because I know you've
Just
been dropping and coming back, and I'm like, you haven't
Sorry.
said
I'm so
something.
sorry. I was
Yes,
trying
okay. You haven't said something since
I was
you haven't
working
added
this morning.
anything since the first go around. I just want to
Yeah,
make sure
I'm
that
sorry.
you didn't have
I've been
anything.
working, so I've been.
Oh,
I've been
okay. No problem.
handling that,
Oh, okay. No problem.
but I've been listening.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, Miss Teddy.
I was thinking back. Let's go back to the retail. See, that's what the see, that's really what I meant, like with frugality. I don't mean just hold my fist real tight, but let me say this: some people, and the reason I'm saying this, and God rest her soul, my mother, it meant more for my mother to be able to say. She was good, super sharp, and she had that. She knew how to dress. She loved clothes. She loved clothes. Make a long story short, but it meant more to her to say, I paid $200 for this, if that makes sense. This costs, those people. See, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it just doesn't make any good nonsense to me. But then again, whatever knocks your boat, whatever rocks your boat. If it means something for you to take out $200 and pay for this so that you can say that, then for me to say, I found this on the rack, for 75, and it's the exact same thing. That's what I was just saying. It's a matter of your mindset, and what brings about that mindset. That's what I was thinking about that when you guys were talking about that. Of course, I like a deal, and I'm talking about it. I can't speak. Well, I can't speak from this. Not goes on to say I can't speak from billionaire, but I remember having I know that I have the exact same attitude if I have a lot or a little when it comes to that sort of thing. Why just throw away money if I don't have to? Why use it? Like I often think people. I was told that people that are real wealthy, that they also work out of that sometimes. That same mindset. They don't always. I don't know if that's true or not. I just wonder, like, if you just got so much money, you never even have to just give me that, give me this, give me that. Do they still look for, indulge themselves with a deal? If that's what, lack of a better word.
Yeah, it's just all about reconciling money in your own consciousness. That's what it comes down to, right? Because that's what I was thinking. I was like, okay, money used to be it used to be like paper, the last iteration of it before it went really plastic and then digital, right? Because now it's more. It's not that we don't still have quote unquote the physical in circulation, but we're kind of being weaned off of that mindset of thinking that money is anything that is something we carry around in our purse. Now it's something, it's in our purse, but it's on our phone, right? Or it's now on the phone, it's now on plastic, it's now really, really digital. And then I thought about, like what you said, Miss Teddy, those who we were deemed as wealthy, right? And how their wealth was really just on paper, right? It was just numbers on a piece, right? They weren't walking around with millions of dollars in their pocket. They didn't have physical millions walking around, right? They have this money in whatever institution they placed their trust in and gave it to the bank, and the bank had kept books and said, okay, this is how much you're worth, and we're going to tally everything based on what you own as far as property and your business and your investments and all of this. We're going to say, well, when you add up those numbers together, this is your net worth. This is how much you're worth. And it just ends up being numbers on a paper, where now it's just numbers on the screen. And it's just all about how you're going to manipulate your mind to make you feel like I can have as many numbers or zeros and a comma that I desire. I just have to manipulate my mind to accept that reality, because that's all that's happening, right? It's just all about what do you think about it? What is your relation to it? And based on your assumptions about it is how it would manifest for you, right? So if you say, well, I have to have multiple streams of income, and I have to make sure I have at least 5 streams coming into my reality, because that's going to create the wealth that I want. And somebody else says, well, I really need to win at the lottery. I don't even want to have no business. I don't want to have multiple streams of income. I don't want to do all that. I just want to win a lottery, put money in a trust, live off, create a legacy and trust behind trust for future generations. And I'm going to, draw my my income off of the trust, right? Or you want entrepreneurship, or you want to be kept, you want to marry into money. Like, it's so many different options. You just have to decide that you have it and then let the options be revealed. Now, is it wrong to say specifically how you want it? No, you can say specifically, I want it this way, or you can say generally, I'm wealthy. I'm just wealthy. Money just money finds me. I just know it loves me. It knows how I'm going to use it, what I'm going to do with it, how I'm going to circulate it. So it must always makes itself available to me because it's always present and always before me and always with me, right? Like you just have to decide, money going to find, I'm not worried about it. Money going to find me. Oh, it has to find its way to me because it is me. I am money. So how can money not be me? If I'm money, money is me. Together we are what? One. And we will forever be. We like white on rice. Cannot be divided. No separation. We are all one. We are one. Yes. Go ahead.
Yeah, this was over 15 years ago. My son wanted to understand manifestation.
Mm-hmm.
And I've told the story before. I don't know if everybody heard it, and he didn't understand how it was all mental. And at the time, his mom wanted a blender. And I said, well, let's go to Target and get a blender, and I'll show you how it works. So I asked him, what do you think we should use as an example? He couldn't come up with one. So I said, well, what do you think we should pay for a blender? And because at the time he was only 15, he had no concept of what things cost. He said $7. Now, did I believe we're going to find a blender for $7? Absolutely not. Matter of fact, I didn't think anybody could find a toy blender for $7. But the point was, what I was teaching him is that all is mind. It's not what I believe, it's what you believe. Because I didn't think it was so. Let's make that part clear. I didn't think that was
this wasn't my manifestation. I was I'm just along for the ride.
Right, we on this on with this. Right, because it made no sense to me at all. So we get to Target, and we found a blender, and we found a name brand blender because my wife at the time wanted, a really good blender, and we found a Hamilton Beach blender, brand new with a whole bunch of buttons on it, and we didn't know what the price was. So, Target has those red scanner things in the aisle. We went over to the red scanner thing, and it kept coming up as an error when we tried to get the price. So I said, no big deal. We just go to the cash register and she can look it up. And the cashier scanned it, hit some buttons, scanned it again, hit some more buttons, scanned it again. I'm thinking, okay, we got a problem here. What's wrong? And the lady looked up and she said, where did you get this blender? And I said, over there in the aisle where all the other blenders are. And I said, something wrong? She said, well, when I get off of work, I need to go get me this blender. I said, really? How much is it? She said, $6.99. And my son's mouth fell open. Eyes lit up. And my mouth fell open because I didn't believe it. And I played it off and said, yeah, see, that's how it works. Mm. But I was playing it off because I couldn't believe it myself. But the point of the story is, everyone, that's how it works. Whatever price you put on retail, wholesale, or it just fall out of the sky, I don't know. I don't know. Whatever you believe comes true to you.
Yep. Yep.
It's not outlandish. It's only outlandish if you don't think it. If you just, so he proved to me, which I'm trying to prove to him, right? He's proven to me that it's all mine. Everything is all mine. Everything. Like Neville Goddard says, actually, like Toyia says, actually, I love when you do that. But actually, it is. Actually, your thoughts are creating the reality you experience.
Beautiful, beautiful. And here's another quote that we say a lot of times. Many of us have said it in so many different ways. And Neville says, "You are already that which you want to be." How many times have we heard that? You are already. You're not becoming. You're not waiting for it. You are already that which you want to be. And your refusal to believe that it is the only reason, your refusal to believe that it is the only reason you do not see it.
So true.
It's
So
because
true.
you refuse to accept its reality is the only reason why you don't get to be the reality or see the reality. Because you're already it.
Right.
And you
You're
just
right.
got to
Remember-
stop speaking against yourself.
Remember, I think one time on the live, I mentioned things aren't, it's not something over there
Yeah.
that you're bringing over here to you. It's something that's already there in you that shows itself over there.
Because he finally says it almost at the end of this chapter. Mastery of self-control of your thoughts. I don't even really hear him talk about thoughts. He talk about feeling so doggone much. He finally says it though. Mastery of self-control of your thoughts and feelings is your highest achievement. That's what we said. Everything is about self-mastery. It's not letting your thoughts rule or your emotions. It's you being the dictator of your reality.
Ding, ding, ding. Which is is a matter of making a decision. And I love one of the things that Abraham always says is, you don't have to participate in whatever it is you don't want to participate in. The social ills, the social conditions, whatever, you don't have to participate in that. You choose what you want and focus on that, period. And that's the whimsy and the magic of it all, because we're sovereign beings. So you make your choice. It's going to be gold and silver and birds singing and butterflies flying all the time. Everywhere I take a step, that's where my life is going to be. You make that decision to occupy that space in your mind and keep practicing it. And next thing you know, it might, like you say, might take 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 2 years, however. But if you persist in that decision that you've made, and that's what you're going to experience, it's because it's law. Can't help it. Can't help but happen. And it's really revolutionary because of what we've been conditioned and programmed to believe.
Yep. That's it.
And it takes a lot. It really does take, and I say this to applaud us in this group and for those wherever they are, that to make the decision that this is what I'm going to live in golden land, for lack of a better way to put it. And right now for me, my life is always going to be me singing and dancing, because everything is so easy and beautiful. And people looking at you like you nuts, but you maintain, persist in that desire, in that declaration. It can't help but happen. So again, I want to applaud everyone here that's hearing the conversation, because we can change our world, which is the world, just by adopting these principles, these laws, and having the audacity to stand in it and insist that this is how it's going to be. This is what it is. And I'm going to practice, and I'm going to live it, and I'm going to prove God, and I'm going to prove to myself that I am the great I am. I love it, and I'm honored to be here with this group. Say it all the time, I'm glad to be, to have ran across your live and to listen a little bit, then leave, come back another day, listen a little bit, then decide I'm gonna plant my feet here.
Oh, we're so glad to have you too. Thank you so much for joining us. Been a treasure. Everyone has been. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
Hold on, let me put this.
Go ahead, A-Time.
Can you hear me too?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just wanted to exclamate, similar to what you had just mentioned, where, well, I guess, just kind of like dawning on me, whatever, because it says we're only poor in imagination, right? So it's not bank account, it's not opportunities, it's not, friends, connections, you know what I'm saying? None of that. It's our, it's our daggone imagination. And I love, I definitely, it's definitely encouraging, and it's definitely mind-boggling, almost like what Toxie said, how simple it really is. To understand, like what you had mentioned, it's just, what was that little phrase you just said, Brad?
Oh, the mastery of self-control.
Yeah.
Yeah, mastery of self-control of your thoughts and feelings is your highest achievement.
Right. So we ain't even got to do nothing else. You know what I'm saying? We don't even have to worry about, stress about, give our attention to nothing else. Our highest achievement, and who are we not to be the highest achievers? You know what I'm saying? I think we all came out the womb wanting to be some highest achievers, to that extent. And so just loving that part too. That we're only, and also impart to others. You know what I'm saying? Because I think we're always around other people and stuff like that, and just to be encouraging. Because I deal with people all the time, and so just to kind of now when I talk to people, when I hear them, boy, I can hear so much other stuff. When they talking. You can really hear what they, what they feeding on. You know what I'm saying? You can hear, what they, you hear what you hear. And I'm like, well, no, that's just your imagination. You know what I'm saying? Or you can just, that's nothing, just the simplicity of way of reverbing their pains and aches and whatever they talking about, because they're in their own world, of course. But just to be able to be that encouragement and, also being able to help people, get their life together, but help them create a different awareness. Right. But also too, for a minute there, it was a little interesting because if you weren't doing good, and I think we had just talked about this, if you weren't doing good, you couldn't be happy, or whatever that imagination is of couldn't be, of not doing good. You didn't want people seeing you too happy or jovial or joyful. But I got rid of that now,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because I had to kind of like, you know, one, it ain't their world.
Mm-hmm.
Two, I'm in my own, you know, I'm in my own shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is good over here.
Mm-hmm.
And that also like stifled me. Like, nah, I don't want them to see, you know, think I'm too happy. Like, I don't care about nothing, you know, or I don't have a concern. You know, I'm for real, Toya. That shit was crazy.
And
You know, because-
it's funny that you said, because I was talking to my girlfriend today. She said that one of her other friends told her, you know, people don't like you, but you want to know why they don't like you? What's so crazy? Because they think you being phony, you too happy.
That's crazy, right?
They were like, ain't
That's
nobody
crazy.
that happy. Ain't nobody that happy all the time. She faking it. Who that happy? Like, damn,
Yeah.
y'all want people to be sad?
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy. That is insane.
Yeah. Yeah. That is crazy.
That's wow.
Insane. Right, Toxic?
Look
it
like
is.
they would be glad you're happy. See that? Oh wow! It seems like people.
Yeah.
Let me anyway. I'd be so happy for people to be happy. That's all I can say. And it seems like they would be happy, even if they're not, even if you're not. Ain't you happy that somebody
People
else is happy?
too wrapped up in the world or what's going on in the world. They watching too much news, reading too many newspapers, and they're just like, how dare you be happy when you see all the calamity happening in the world, right? They want your mind to be so super focused on who robbed who did what to. You're right. And they want you to feel like, yeah, let's talk about the latest stuff that happened on the news last night. Like, no.
But you could still, but they look like they'd be happy that you was happy. That's all I'm trying to say.
Yeah, you would think, but when they say misery loves company, I say happy loves company too. They just the wrong company. But the thing is, it wasn't told. It wasn't like they were in her. They was telling somebody else, so she wasn't attracting that to her. Somebody else was telling her what somebody else said. So she's around the right people that were glad that she was, you know, had a brightened disposition.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And just the sense of just their the sense of, you know, being happy, and like I said, the impression that it gave others. And that was like, you know, and I think you had put in the community, the Facebook community, who had put that? So I think maybe somebody, I forgot. Somebody had put about the chains that we put on ourselves, or the unbroken chains is the ones we
I
put
think
on ourselves.
Latoxi put that in. Latoxi put that in there.
Was it Toxic?
Yeah, it was Latoxi.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so I had put, you know, I had answered. I was like, so how do we know? Well, I forgot the question I had, but I think it was like, how do we know which ones we're entertaining or which ones we are unbroken? Something like that. You know, just kind of being, you know, just trying to, you know, get more, you know, just expound on it more, you know, and that is one of the chains. Like, you can't be happy unless everything is going right around you, or if you know, to where, I don't know, to make it feel like your 3D is you are defined by your 3D, or the world's perspective of 3D, you know, because truth be told, is rich, you know, it's abundant. So
it is.
So I'm liking the whole, you know, just the whole renewing of the mind type shit, you know, is definitely helping me out, and I can tell it's helping everybody else out too. So definitely, just kudos to the live.
Yes. And I thought about the show I like, The Gilded Age on HBO, and I just rewatch it. They got 3 seasons, waiting on the 4th season to come out, and I was rewatching it again last night. And so they have, you know, The Gilded Age, which is about opulence and wealth, and those who have they happen, you know, all the footmen and the maids and the servants and all of that. And so one of the footmen, he's looking to, you know, he went into business with another guy that's supposed to help him, because he supposedly came up with the clock and how to use the clock, with, you know, how to make the clock run without something he did with the clock or what have you. But anyway, so the lady the mistress of the house, who he's the footman for, and he's serving them tea and everything. And they're sitting around talking about, money and if money makes you happy. And she was like, well, she said, John, what if it's not true? What if happiness does not come from success and money? And he was like, I don't know, but I want to find out for myself. I'm like, I know that's right. What? How you gonna tell me?
Yes,
It's always the rich. That's right. You do watch it, right?
Yes. Big fan. I love that show.
He was like, I don't know, but I would like to find out for myself. And they all started laughing, like, yeah, let me find out if I cannot be happy with success and money. Like, are you kidding me?
One thing I'm not gonna do is wait for take someone else's word for it. I'll tell you that.
I'm just like, oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm looking so excited to episode 4, but it's based off, JP Morgan. And even though they do have Morgan there, the main character is supposed to be based off him and like the Vanderbilts and all of them, but they do have someone playing JP Morgan in the series. But the main character, he has
My
coal.
husband.
That's your husband. You coal man. He has, the steel mill. He has the train. He got his hand in everything. I'm like, whoa. And it's just, and when you watch it, like the things he finds himself in and how he gets out of it, it's like they're showing you how manifestation work, right? Because he never knows, like the person that tried to, when they have the train crash, right? And they're trying to figure out who was using the faulty equipment. And then how the girl across the street, she meets the secretary, and then I don't know if she was the secretary. I don't know if that was her position, right? She meets her, and then she sees her at Macy's or Bloomingdale's, and it's like, oh, she's the key to find out who actually was stealing the money from him, right? And he's just like, okay, I gotta fight it, right? And it's like, oh, this is kind of like they showing us manifestation being played out in this TV series. Sure. Yes.
Such a good show. Highly recommend.
It is.
If you watch Downton Abbey or their historical dramas, it's a really great show.
Yeah, and I'm really watching it because of the lifestyle, right? I like that in Bridgerton, right? I'm like, where we get this whole mindset that we got to work hard. Because they're showing us, no, like, what? Like, but I did watch, I watched, so that was what you call it, Downton Abbey? I never watched, was that a TV show?
Yeah.
Okay, so I watched the documentary, like associated with, I think I might have watched a couple episodes of Downton, because I remember, like, I only watched maybe 3 or 4 episodes, but it was this one person who was coming into the wealth, and he didn't like being taken care of like hand and foot, right? And he had inherited this, what do they call them? The manor? No, the manor, but he inherited the servers that went with it.
Oh yeah.
And what do they call it? Because I know it's called the ladies' maid for women, the ones that help the woman dress and all that. I don't know what they call the man though. Is it the butler?
I can't remember. Footman, butler.
Maybe butler, whatever. But he was like, he didn't want him to do anything for him. And the guy that had already had the way, he told him, everybody has their part to play. You gotta let. I was like, oh, that was so deep.
Yeah.
Because when we try to judge where other people place in life, right? So he was judging like, I don't need nobody, dressing me and cooking for me and running my bath water and bathing me, right? He was like, he couldn't wrap his mind around that. And the guy was like, you gotta let him, because the guy, that's all he knew. He only knew taking care of the man of the house. He only knew taking care of whoever. That was his life. That's all he knew. And so he was feeling like he wasn't worthy, or he was feeling, despondent, because he was like, man, he won't let me do my job. And so the person that was, had already experienced, so he said, everybody has their part to play. You got to let him play his part. And he finally, I think that might have been the last episode I watched. But
yeah, I never got super into Downton Abbey.
No, I didn't either. I think I worked like I watched like the first few episodes, and I was like, because I was like, that's kind of supposed to match in the Gilded Age, if that was happening in the UK or
London. Was happening.
Was it in UK
Yeah,
or
that's the
London?
same time frame.
Yeah, time
in-
frame, right,
in
right. So
England, yeah.
right, so you got England versus New
The
York.
US, yeah.
Yeah, New York, so it's like, oh, to see, and just how they kind of intersected, right? Because that was the thing. The aristocrats of England were looking to marry the heiresses of the United States, because
because they were
even
losing
though they had
status.
all the castles and they had the history, they had the money no more. So they couldn't
Yep.
upkeep that lifestyle. So they were being told, well, go over there and marry you an American princess, because they got all the money now.
Yep.
And bring them back over here. And it's like, wow. Did you ever listen to the podcast?
I haven't
The
listened
Gilded Age?
I actually really want to listen to the podcast. I used to follow an Instagram channel where a guy was like going through the historical places in New York where these events were taking place, and so he would go in and like look at the architecture, and so I've seen that type of thing, but I haven't actually listened to the podcast.
Right, so the third season where
yeah, I'm caught up.
Bertha's what's her name?
Bertha.
Not Bertha, not the wife. What's the daughter name?
Oh Lord, I don't remember that girl.
I'm like, I watch it every, and I cannot think of her name right now. I know her name, but I can't think of her name.
Falls in love with the guy who's
Right.
not her stature.
Right, but she ended up marrying a duke. Where that's based off
right.
that the true Vanderbilt daughter was sold to the duke.
Right, and he didn't have no money.
No, that's the whole thing.
Right, but
They wanted that. That's why that
exactly.
her mother was looking to like make her like because they had the money, they just didn't have like the power or they were still trying to get into society, right? They didn't have society. So that's one thing that New York society would do. They didn't care how much money they went by history or lineage, right? They were more concerned about whose family was there and was well established. They didn't like new money. So new money, in order to get really into society, decided, oh, we're going to become aristocrats and we're going to become nobility. So we're going to marry the nobles over in England, and then that's going to give us position and status. Because money just wasn't enough. They also needed status. They also needs to be a peer that they were part of, the movers and the shakers. But the podcast gives more of the reality and tells you which characters on the show match the real people during that time. And they were saying, yes, the Vanderbilt daughter, actually, Gladys. Thank you, Gladys. Yep, that's it, Gladys. Yep, thank you, honey.
The show is called The Gilded Age.
The Gilded Age. Yep. But they said the Vanderbilt daughter, they said she was miserable too when she married that duke. It was a horrible thing. It was not.
I'm curious how this is gonna play out, because I'm like,
I mean, right now the character's having that she's pregnant, right? She told her mother that she was pregnant when the end of that season stopped. But in real life, they said the Vanderbilt daughter, that was a horrible marriage. They were like, a lot of those marriages in the Gilded Age, that's what I'm saying. Because here's my thing. It doesn't matter if you're rich or poor. Some people have good marriages, some people gonna have bad marriages, right? The money doesn't necessarily make a good marriage or make for a bad marriage. It's really the people that make for the good marriage or the bad marriage, right? Like when they try to say that it's bad people, all the rich people are slimy and bad. We do know some poor people that are slimy and bad. So what are we doing?
Like, let's actually be
let's be for real. Like let's just be so for real. Like, are we no, because we had to get that out of our mindset too, of associating bad behavior, bad people, bad character with wealth. When you know that there are bad people, bad behavior, bad character, poor people.
Like, we know that as a fact.
We know that as a fact.
I mean, and two, a lot of rich people who do good and stuff like that, they don't talk a lot about what they do. A lot of them don't, unless they have ambitions otherwise. Like,
and Hollywood, I feel like gives us a false perspective or perception of wealth, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Hollywood, celebrity, they want us to equate fame with fortune, and we know that's just not what it is. You cannot equate fame and fortune. There are plenty of people famous and ain't got no damn money, and people that have fortune and ain't famous. One does not absolutely equal the other. And then there are people that are famous and rich.
There's a lot of people who are allowed. Like, we hear about the negative things, but when someone, donates millions and millions of dollars, like, what's her name, Melinda Gates? Every year, she has so much money that every year she donates hundreds of millions of, not an exaggeration, hundreds of millions of dollars to different charities. I'm not saying, like, again, I can't speak for her. I'm just saying, like, we hear those types of things all the time. So, like, you would think that would kind of negate the things that other people are doing. It doesn't, obviously, but there are, if you look for it, you can see, what's his name? My favorite billionaire, Mark Cuban.
Okay.
He created cost plus drugs, which is an easy way for people to get their medical needs, their prescriptions, at cost. So he's not even making any money on that. There's no money to be made for him in that situation. Wow. He's just letting people instead of people having it marked up or, generic, or whatever you call it, name brand prices and stuff like that, causing an influx and increase in pricing. He's allowing people to get their prescriptions at cost. He didn't have to do that shit. I'm not saying, like, I cannot speak for him again. Obviously, I don't know him personally.
That part. True.
Okay,
True.
To be clear.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people out here doing stuff they really don't have to fucking do. Melody Hobson, George Lucas, also billionaires, also doing really good things. So I'm not saying.
Are they the ones that own with the Walmart group? Because is his wife black? Because I know one. Okay, I think they own the Broncos with the Walmart group.
Yeah, they're definitely part. They're definitely part owners of several. I think several professional teams. I know Melody is for sure. Okay. Yeah. But they do a whole bunch of shit. People don't.
Like you said, because they're not screaming aloud and say, "Look what I did! Look what I did! Look what I did!" That's how you like. If you gotta tell it, you probably ain't doing it, right? Like if you gotta be out here, look at me, look at me, look at me. Then maybe I'm saying like you just gotta people love appearances though. Like the guy on the Gilded Age, McAllister, the one that helped Astor make the list of the 400. He didn't even have real wealth. He just wanted to be associated with it. And they said in real life that one of those tycoons tried to help him establish his wealth, and he had no interest. And he tried to get wealthy doing a tell-all book, but he ended up getting excommunicated from
telling all their business.
Yep. And it did not sell. He was before his time because it did not. Because now the rag.
Now everybody want to know.
The tabloids was a big old thing, right? Tabloids. He was before his time. He didn't make no money. They said that book did not sell at all. But he lost his status.
He had no interest in actually earning the money.
No, he just wanted, but he got to be associated. He got to go to all the balls. He got to eat, drink, and be merry.
Yep.
So he showed you that you did not need the money to live the life. No, because he got to live the life and did not have the money.
Simple as that.
But he made a wrong move. He went and tried to sell their secrets, and then
which is ridiculous. I'm gonna keep my mouth shut on that. But long story short, there's a whole bunch of people out here doing stuff they don't really have to do. That's good for the world. Do they get kickbacks? Probably. Do they get tax write-offs? I'm sure. Are they? I'm not saying they don't benefit from it on their own. I'm sure they find a way. Right. What's this in Jurassic Park? Life finds a way.
Yep. But this will help you deconstruct if you had any kind of the mindset of, they always say wealthy people they're bad or they're gonna be scoundrels, or maybe if I get too much, I won't treat people right. People without money don't treat people right. So you should just dissolve yourself of that mentality. Like that should not be keeping you from having all the money you want, worried about how you're going to be to other people. Money does not build character.
It does not. And it doesn't change your character either.
It doesn't.
That's who you already are.
Right. You are. If you was an a-hole before you got the money, you're gonna be an a-hole afterwards. Like
100%.
If you were kind before you got the money, you're gonna be kind after you get the money. Like, Be who you are. You just, because what does money do? Money just pays for quote unquote experiences and things. But do
Yeah.
you need the money to have the experiences or the things? You can have it. You can have it. You just got to see yourself with it. That's all that it takes, an imagination. It's just my imagination once again, running away with me. Where's your imagination running to?
Come on.
Where's your money? Where's your imagination running to? More money. Get money. More money. You can have it. It's yours for the taking. And here's the thing, because you already have it. You are already giving all things pertaining to life and godliness. For God, who richly gives you all things to enjoy, as Dr. Joseph Murphy said, then why are you poor? Yeah, a couple of scriptures above, Paul is telling them, the love of money. The love of money is the root of all evil. But why is he saying the love of money is the root of all evil? Because that's when you make it your God. And it's not necessarily talking about the evil that you would do to others. It's the evil doing to yourself, because there is no other. Is when you think you have to slave for, sacrifice for, compromise for, manipulate and control others for it. But then again, that's your evil thinking, no one else's. All you have to do is see yourself with it. That's your only criteria to wealth, is see yourself with it. Decide that you can have it. That's your only criteria. That is your only criteria. Right. Nothing is wrong unless you say it is, and you just got to stop saying things are wrong. It's just that simple. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing good or bad. Only your thinking makes it so. So what are you calling good? What are you calling bad? It's up to you. You're the one deciding it. Exactly. Love is never wrong. Like
That's well said. That thing about replacing love with lust. That is totally well said.
Yes. Or like Reverend I could say the lack of money. The lack of money is the root of all evil. Not having enough, thinking that you don't have enough, because there's never a lack of money. It's your belief in lack that causes the lack. But if you stop thinking it, then it won't be it. Beloved, yep, the lust of money. Yeah, thinking you have to do anything to get it, but if you think so, then it's okay. And I get it. Some people they'll sleep their way to the top, because everyone doesn't honor smecks like other people, especially the way the church tried to demonize people who don't. Right? You get to do whatever what you want with your body, and so if you think you need to do whatever to do to get what you need to get, it will present itself to you. But like you say, be careful what you ask for. Because you just might mess around and get it. So you might just around have to do some of the craziest things in order to get it. But if you not judging yourself, ain't nobody else gonna judge you. If so-and-so had to sleep with so-and-so and they become a starlet, and they actually became the starlet, where's the problem? I don't understand. You got exactly what you asked for. How are you mad now? You know exactly what you made a choice. You decided that you should do this thing in order to be this thing. And now you mad? Did the person not honor the transaction?
Come on.
They honored the transaction. You thought that was necessary. And they kindly obliged you. Now you're talking some me too. Whatever. Let me stop. Not that I'm not against women, because I think women, but I'm like let's stop acting like people don't have choices, right? Exactly. Yeah. Some of it, because
Some of it definitely falls in the bucket of girl. You knew what it was.
You know what time it was.
So,
Now, what
you know
some people
what they were
manipulated,
on.
yeah, like the Anita Hill versus the judge. Now that's a whole nother thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's totally different.
That's totally different.
He was harassed at work.
Exactly. They want to be, well, I was
Totally
harassed. This is my job too. I was harassed too. No, but you willingly went on the couch. You willingly made a decision to say, and this is just a blip in time. This little 5 to 10 minutes is gonna take. Okay, but this is gonna set me up for life. I'm gonna go ahead and do this one deed.
That's a fair trade-off to me.
Especially if you're not putting Smecks on a pedestal, right?
Okay.
Not everybody does. I'm not saying what's wrong or right. I'm just saying what I'm saying, which is I'm just talking ish.
No, but some of it is personal responsibility, right? Like, I mean, there are cases where it's like, oh, you might be naive or young or immature in a way that someone could definitely take advantage. So I'm not saying I'm not saying that's not possible.
Right.
But we're talking about grown ass women here, the grown women who know what the situation is, what environment, tech is a very very male focused environment. There's a lot of environments like that, finances like that, laws like that. You know what you're stepping. Unfortunately, it's not right, but you know what you're stepping into in these environments. And unfortunately,
what did Cat Williams say? He said, "Hey, I got a version."
Listen,
he said, "This version. I ain't out here trying to. I'm gonna find my own way." He said, "Because God is my friend. He like me and God. We like this. He like, I ain't gotta bend over." Okay. Some people don't mind. Again, I don't. Do you? But then my thing. Don't unless you're truly like you leave kids off the table. We never talking about kids. We talking about grown ass motherfuckers, right?
Right, grown people.
We talking about grown folks.
Fully formed frontal cortex, frontal lobes.
And you and somebody come to you and say, "Hey, how bad you want it?" And what you mean? What you willing to do? Because I can make you great now.
That has happened to my mom. My parents were professionals, but my aunt was also like, she came up under my mom, and when she first started in her career, she had lots of very powerful men who were local to the city trying to put her on, but only in a certain way. Mm-hmm. And she did not go for that. But I think it was jarring, of course, because these are grown. We were talking about like 50 and 60-year-old, men. At the time, she was in her early 20s. So, in that scenario, like, she made a choice not to do that. Obviously, they were not her type. Right. But that whole thing, that whole concept happens a lot. It happens. Yeah. It's just a matter of,
and people don't realize that they do say inwardly, I have to sacrifice. I'm going to have to do something that I don't necessarily want to do. Like someone just said, Neville, thought creates reality. You choose your reality. And they don't even know that they're choosing that reality, right? Because some people say it kind of like flippantly, right? Kind of like not really paying attention to what they're saying. And then they find themselves in situations and wonder why they couldn't resist it or couldn't say no, because it was already a part of your mindset.
Yeah.
Some people do it in regret, right? They're like, oh my goodness, I don't know why I did this. I don't know what thinking. Right? That happens too. But that's because they already thought or had a belief that in order to get to the top, you must do some things you don't want to do. And that's always promoted, especially on TV, right? Comes to celebrity. You see these celebrity shows of people trying to make it big and they humiliate them, right? You got to go through a humiliation ritual, right? You have to be embarrassed. You have to, that's a programming to condition people to think that this life does not come without sacrifice. And we understand the law, and we know this life only comes with a change of mind. That's what it comes with. They don't come. The only thing you sacrifice is that old belief in sacrifice. You're sacrificing the old belief that you have to work and strain and struggle and compromise in order to get a thing. Like Latasha talk about all the time. She's like, man, things come so easy and people gotta have issue with it. But I'm gonna say maybe they're her mirror. Yeah. And maybe she has an issue with how easily it's coming.
I definitely had some kind of internal thing going on. But thankfully I never had to put myself in a scenario where I had to do anything to make myself come up in the world.
I'm not talking about the difficulty. I'm saying like how easy it's coming to you, but you're questioning the ease of it. And then so your world is reflecting that to you. Like, girl, like, what make you think you special? Why you think that needs to come so easy? You always get to who you think you are. And you're like, damn it, I just thought about it and it happened. What you getting on me about it for?
My parents raised me that way, you know. They just did. And
to expect certain things, right? To have a certain
Exactly.
expectation, right? This is another, you get what you expect.
Yep. All you have to do is ask.
That's what Ra was saying, right? Ra was like, man, I just had to ask, and I started asking, and then it started coming, and he got spooked. That's the lesson. Don't spook yourself on your blessings. Like,
come on, Ra. I've been waiting for Ra to come up. I can't invite him because he's on a private account, but
is he even still in the chat? He might be gone. I don't know. Yeah, he might have left. Cause like, if you should have told me, I could invite him up.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah. But yeah, I think he's departed. But this is a great. she said, yeah, I know God is tired of me asking. Never. Because all the blessings are yes, and all the promises are yes. Girl, keep asking. Don't ever keep commanding, keep saying what you want. No, nobody's tired. Infinite.
That's the whole point of life. That's the whole point of life, is to experience what you want. That's it.
Give it to yourself. Give it to yourself. But this is another great live. Oh. Feeling is the secret. It's just another way of saying thoughts are things. That's the secret. Your thoughts are things. Woohoo! There you broke the code. You went behind the veil. You discovered the secret. Your thoughts are things. The secret is you are always the secret. That's the secret. You are the secret. It's all in you, boo. It's you. Yes, love it. So the next chapter 2 is sleep. How you go to sleep is very important. What you have on your mind as you go lay down your behind. So be very selective about what you want to, what you entertain right before bed. Think nothing but good thoughts, amazing thoughts, wonderful thoughts, right? Go to bed accepting the true, the just, the lovely, the noble, the praiseworthy, and the good report. Like, oh, I'm so glad my life is amazing. Oh, it's so amazing. Oh, I'm so thankful that today. Oh, so amazing. But how did Luther Vandross song go? So amazing. So amazing to be loved. I follow you to the moon and the stars above.
Period.
Yes, so amazing to be loved. Ooh. I want to be loved by you and nobody else but you. Yeah, so be happy, be thankful. The joy of the Lord is your strength. Rejoicing again, I say rejoice. Just do things that put a smile on your face. If that just means looking at your face in the mirror. If that just means going for a walk. If that just means watching your favorite comedy show. If that just means doing some virtual shopping. Not that you actually have to buy anything. You know how people will go, what they call it, window shopping? Well, you could do virtual shopping. You could just go on Nordstrom's and Neiman Marcus and Saks and Bloomingdale's, right? And just do some virtual shopping. Go to Burberry or Louis Vuitton, if that, whoever you want to, Montclair, right? Go to their websites. Fendi. Go directly to the website. You don't even got to go to the retail stores. You can go directly they sell right on their website and go look at their latest fashions, right? You love Pinterest for this? Love it. Love it.
Yes, I have several boards of different things that I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna buy this, I'm gonna buy that. All the gold jewelry I'm gonna buy. All the trips I'm gonna go on, the first class, business class, international, everything all the stuff I want in my new house.
Mm-hmm.
All that.
Beautiful. Beautiful. So John Pace asks a question, says, what would you say the limits are to manifestation? Like, do you think cavities can be healed, or is that too much? Nothing is too much. There's no limitation. That reminds me of something that Abraham Hicks' husband talked about, dentistry. So he was, they had discovered Abraham, and he went to like 3 different dentist offices. Do you know he got 3 different reports about his teeth? And so that was his way of realizing that there is nothing fixed in this reality. And so which of the 3 dentists were right about what was going on in his mouth? I would say the dentist report is no different from the medical report, right? That your doctor coming back giving you a diagnosis that you are not in agreement with. The moment you decide that your teeth are healthy and you can be convinced of this reality, you will get the results. Mm, okay. Well, I would change that though, John Pace. I wouldn't say that you can't buy it, right? Just change it and say the things that you see yourself having. See yourself with it. Yep, the opposite of the placebo. Yep. Because I know Abraham and well, her husband has transitioned, but Esther, she says, they were saying they hadn't been to the doctor since they came across Abraham, right? So once she started channeling Abraham, she no longer went to the doctor. Neither one of them did. They stopped going to the dentist and they stopped going to the doctor. Because the dentistry is no different than medical field, right? They're all trying to tell you there's something wrong with you that needs to be fixed. That's how they make their money. They have to, because they need more than you just come to get a cleaning. That ain't gonna do it. They need you to get some type of dentistry work. They need you to get some fixed on your teeth, right? They need to tell you something's wrong. Yep, all things are in the mind. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Nocebo. Yep, nocebo. Yep. Who coined that phrase? Is that what's his name? Lipton, I think. Now he might not coined it, but he's the first person. Bruce Lipton. I think he was the first person I heard say that. Yep, nocebo.
What does that mean?
It's like the placebo. So it's like you get, so like if the placebo is telling you that you had something happen, the nocebo is saying the same. It's almost saying the same thing, except you're saying no, it didn't happen. Whereas the placebo is saying that you received some type of medical experiment, but you didn't really receive it, right? So the placebo is like, here, take this sugar pill, but I'm gonna tell you it's a miracle drug. So you believe that the miracle drug is going to work. The nocebo is saying that you're not accepting that anything happened.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, so it's like not accepting the doctor report, not accepting the dentist report, right? Not accepting any, somebody tell you didn't get the job. Well, I'm not going to accept that. I'm going to do the nocebo. Yep, nothing ever happened. Yep. So, yes, thank you. Thanks, everyone, for joining. You want to catch the recap of the live, you can go to my YouTube channel, Prosperous Living with Toyia. You can join the private Facebook group, Prosperous Living with Toyia. I have free books, the link tree in my bio on manifesting. Get the manifestation ebook bundle. You get daily diamond gems, 30-day transformation journey, and the recipe for life, the 4 steps to manifesting. They're all biblically based. Many of you know that I still use the Bible. I understand the Bible is a true manifestation spell casting book. It is all about telling you how to use your mind intentionally, deliberately, so you can create consciously. It's about being conscious creators, right? We're being conscious here. We're intentional about what we're thinking, intentional about who we're being, intentional about what we're saying, right? Intentional. Be intentional. Pay attention to what you're paying attention to, because your attention gives everything life. Yes, yes. Much love. Live and prosper. Yes. That goes, one of my favorite scripts, 3 John and 2. Beloved, I wish above all things that you prosper and be in health, even as your soul prospers. Yay. Love it, love it, love it. Just walking it, just like A-Town says, God mode. God mode. No other mode but God mode. We're not selling for anything less than the best. This is elite status here. Top tier here. Right? VIP. Private.
First class.
First
premium.
class. Yes,
Yeah, all
premium. The red carpet is always rolled out.
Right.
Yes. 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 Love it, love it, love it. All right. Monday, we have, y'all still want the relationship talk? Relationship chatter. I decided Mondays at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time to 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Does that work for you guys? You still want to talk?
That time works for me.
Okay. Cool. So again, send me if you have any questions. It could be regarding any relationship, though. It does not just have to be SP. I know everyone is not seeking a significant other. Some people are married. Some people are okay where they are as far as their date life. But maybe you want to manifest some better client relationships, working relationships, family relationships. You know, like no relationship is off the table. So if you have questions, you can put them in the Facebook group, or you can DM me on Facebook or Instagram or on TikTok. Send me a message if you have a specific topic you would like to discuss Monday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Until then, guys, bye-bye. Have a great rest of your day. Have a fab day. Bye-bye.